week 1 of some NECC Valorant action. My name is Campbell, and joined alongside me is Pyro. We have a very exciting best-of-3 start off NECC season. Wales University going up against Assumption University. Pyro, getting exciting. Yep, well, we will see if players are ready. Bit of a technical delay, production issues, but we should have everything under control for this series to start. Gonna wait for the producer to check the okay, the ready up. We'll get right into it. Not sure if we've done map bans yet. I don't know if you can double check for me, but I don't think so. Maybe we know the map. That would obviously help us figure out what's going on in that regard, but I think we are ready to go. If we aren't, then we'll talk to the game. I think we should be good. Harbor in the game, that might be something these players trying to power. Anything you expect these players to pull out so far in the meta?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it totally depends on the map that we will see. Obviously, we're in Navigators, so this is a couple below the kind of top tier. But nonetheless, with Navigators, we should be expecting some quality kind of duelist plays. What I'm looking for is good basics, having the Initiator support, maybe your Sentinels lurking. This is something that should be massive. As for Harbor, I mean, you never know, it could happen.
Now, and it will be Fracture as our first map of evening, then Ascent, and then Split will be the last map if it does come down to it. I believe the players are ready to go, so we should be getting into the game. I think we are getting into the game. So yeah, Fracture first. Neon could definitely be something we've seen. That's a lot of stuff, or Neon's definitely a pick that a lot of teams are going to on Fracture. Chamber, maybe, probably not. Garbage pick, to be honest. So Jet might fill the role for that op slot, definitely on those long extremities like A main, like B main. Could be something those teams.
Yeah, I mean, I don't so much agree with the Chamber. I mean, Chamber has been getting a bit of usage, some down in the VRLs over here in Europe, so maybe you never know if people are more comfortable on that. We might see more of a Chamber, but yeah, big Neon map. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of double Initiator. We're looking at your breaches, your fades. I mean, Raze, another good one, just because of the strength that Raze has as an agent on the defender side. But at the same time, we'll need to see exactly what these teams go for. And already I'm seeing a KJ, which is a really good pick as well.
Ooh, so Neon does come out. You see that from a vet. The Neon and the Breach combo, any of the Brimstone. So yeah, a lot of ways to get that Neon into sight for Assumption for the Greyhounds. The opposite side of things, the Reyna, that's already going to be locked in for Thog. And I think Cairo, Reyna, one of the scariest picks to turn to, because you need to be able to click heads. You want to pick this character. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You need to frag out. If you're not fragging out with Reyna, you are a liability to your team. And for Thog, it's going to be a lot of pressure starting off on the defensive side.
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, that's why we tend to see people go towards more of a kind of all-rounded, like, single duelist. I mean, I can't remember the last time that I did see a double duelist play from the competitive setting, but nonetheless, we'll need to see how it goes. There's a lot of combination play with the other four sitting there to when you look towards the breach and the fade, etc. That can really work in unison with the paint shells. That's going to be an interesting one, but it's all about how they set up the Neon on the defense. A lot of aggression can sometimes be demanded of these teams when you're on the defensive half. Try and take the fight to your opponents, maybe try and crunch on one of the sides.
Absolutely. We'll see how JMU want to set the pace. Well, actually, those are opposite. The Assumption should be on the right. We'll get that fixed momentarily. Trying to fool me too, Cairo. They're trying to keep me on my toes early on. I like that though. I like that from the producers. They're just helping us out. They're making this they're making this exciting.
Yeah, exactly. You got to keep yourself on the toes, but it seems as if these already we are going to see Assumption move slowly up on towards Dash. There's not a lot of presence here either, not a lot of Sentinel control, as we can see that from JWU Yellow, so that's something to keep your eye on, how they can actually perform on this defensive half, and not a lot of proactive control either.
the initial contact coming through the on Quack sight. Gonna just absolutely concuss on towards A, but the great molly from Elite. The plant will go down momentarily. A 4v3 situation in favor of JMU, and they're gonna run right back over towards main, play for the spike, and just play for time. This is a great idea. See if JMU can try to stop them.
Yep, already on towards the spike, and well, the thing is, though, the post plant wasn't too good, and we're going to have to retake, and they do so brilliantly. It's down to a 1 versus 1 Ducks on Quack against Arena, and well, Thog slowly coming back round with that spike being half, though they will be able to at least get on this tap out, at least play for the time, and they win it out. As easy as that.
Put around there from Thog, we talked about it in the pregame. He's going to have to frag out to make this character matter, to make this agent successful, and Thog has it done just that. There's the first kills for Reina and Kaylee as well. That double kill with the paint shell was crucial in it snuffing out that original push that Assumption were trying to put through, and that's the problem with this sort of composition. If that initial hit doesn't work, really limited in your options. And now the Stinger Rush, this is pretty common. Just a OP gun, thank the Lord. It is getting nerfed, Cairo. We obviously love to see that. Yeah, Stinger Rush, pretty common. Let's see if JMU expect this, and be careful, because Neon with the Stinger, with the Stims, it's going to be a lot of pressure that they have to get ready for.
Yeah, it can really be powerful, but it seems to be more of a crunch rather than a push. I mean, these players already getting spot out and the rotates coming through. A vet does get that pick. As you were saying, Neon can be great at rushing through. Yes, here we are. But the thing is, though, we've not got the spike down. It's a very slow taking D towards the site, and the defenders are getting pulled apart.
Pulled apart. The vet wants more. The retake here. Kaylee of long-range logistics with the Spectre in hand. The shot's not going to really find their target. Finally gets the kill. On a command, the Bucky there. Not going to work. Nothing, though. Able to react, reorient, adjust with that classic in hand. It's a 2v2 situation for JMU to go back into the site. 13 HP for the Rays. It's going to be so tough to work around. Death Muffin gets taken out from Arcade. Ducks on Quack 420, able to decipher where that race is going to be. Take that out now. Back on the board is Assumption University. The Force works. They get their first round win.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess the Force catching your opponents off guard. I mean, there was a lot of fights that were disadvantageous. I mean, having the Reina kind of almost dry peak, only having the Lears to support themselves. You've got so much util, so much kind of, I guess, delaying util as well. When you look towards the paint shells, you've got your fault line, etc. I mean, there's. We're looking at JWU, they should have done so much better. There's no spam coming through on the OR point either. Getting stunned up as well. Death Muffin just managing to escape with the life, but they've gave contact and they're already rotating through to the other site. Well, they've completely baited the defenders here.
And B is exposed. Could be an easy take here for Assumption University, and that's going to be Neon ult pop as well for Yvette so early on. Round 3 gonna have such a powerful weapon to use at his disposal. Last lane up, deny a bit of vision. Moving forward with the stuns as well. It's a lot of speed. Let's see if Riot Vanguard is able to hear this coming through. Yvette waiting, teetering back and forth. No ult to play with. Didn't really look for any aggressive plays. Force JMU off momentarily. Vanguard gonna take a hell of a lot of damage. There's the turn back. There's the push through. Yvette and Kanan getting 2 kills of their own. Now a 5v3 situation for Assumption to play off of.
Oh, well, it's the retake that needs to come through hard, and when you have such little weapons, when you have such little players, you're just going to get wiped out, and that's exactly what happened. So well played from Assumption to bait their opponents to rotate so quickly, but JWU, I mean, they bit at the first sight of an apple and, well, turned out to be poisonous. That's the problem. You can't be just committing to everything that you see. Sometimes you need to kind of do a little bit of information gathering, but at the same time, well played from Assumption, and even though they burned the ultimate, I mean, they still cleared out the site completely, so well played from them.
And now we can turn to the ultimate here as they start to plug forward. Orbital strikes for both sides, JWU and Assumption University. We'll see if that does factor as the round progresses. Assumption could use that post-plant scenario. Death Muffin looking to get a little around this smoke. Just the contact of that. Spidey senses were tingling. Now he's going to keep pushing forward. He's halted there by Yokai, who's not going to be able to find one. Ducks on Quack. Able to hit. And now it's a 5v3. We're about to flank as well, but they're already on top of it.
Spike planted.
Well, this is when we see the players play from main. Iron wins that out. Look at the attackers have already taken most of the defenders away, and now it has to be a 1 versus 5 retake. The post plan already set up for main, and that spike plan is so perfect. That's all they need to do is just double up. Doesn't even get a shot at the head of bombs, and they take out Riot Vanguard completely.
Up there. You are an Assumption. And now they can continue to play off that orbital strike. Didn't even have to use it there. Ducks on Quack is going to be close to that as well if he wants to turn to the Rolling Thunder. We'll see if that does become something they look for, maybe under the B site. That's always a common strategy for a lot of these teams, especially with that Neon and that Brimstone. You have so much power, so much punch in that initial push. It could just throw a JWU in a loop. Really peak from Death Muffin. Hawkeye destroys a vet, pierces the skull of the Neon, makes it a 5v4 instantaneously in round number 5.
The only problem is here you've got the Marshal on short range, and with Tuxton Quack coming up from behind is going to get so much harder. The thing is, though, the defense, they're going to have to try and retake here. It is going to be a person advantage towards them, but we can play for the Brim out on towards the main position if you are Assumption. But with that being said, main has to be a priority here for JWU when they try to get through. Already we are going to see the Empress being popped, unfortunately getting taken out by the fault line as well. Just stunned up. The bullets left, right and centre. Thought gets one. Can they get a second? Well, they certainly will do. Only one left. It stucks on Quack all the way out and towards Dish. They do have the Rolling Thunder. Oh, and they do have the Aftershock. They're completely delaying. They can come back in. It's a 1 versus 2 now. Can they find the last 2? No, they can. But being on such low HP, they're able to win it out.
I love explosions.
It's huge. Dog again with this Reyna pick in hand, finding the frags, finding the kills to get it done on the big stage. The second round win for JWU, and they needed it big. It was turning in to a snowball effect for Assumption. After winning 3 in a row, they finally lose. JWU back on the board. Still, those orbital strikes in both banks of JWU and Assumption. Nobody pulling the trigger just yet, but like you mentioned, Rolling Thunder was so impactful. Delay, deny, and get that victory. Not quite, but almost there. We'll see if on the opposite side, JWU can use that Rolling Thunder their own to get maybe a pushback and be a retake scenario in their favor. That's going to start things off. Fast lane moving through inside with speed. Already control the site, and also stun out Yokai. Continue to push forward, continue to march in, but Yokai anticipates. That first bit of damage, looking for 2. Can he find 3? Now he's got that Nightfall to play with. This is a great defense from JWU, steadfast and holding down this site. Nobody is getting through from Assumption. That's a great kill from Iron Valiant to make it now a 4v2 situation. Orbital strike still in hand for JWU.
Yeah, with only 2 players left, just playing in tandem here is going to be massive. Spike stuck down in towards site. Valiant gets taken out from the raise down below. Well, now this is where things get interesting with a 1 versus 3. Do these players double think? But they've got the spike. They don't need to double think. Just think about where potentially that Sage is. Have they went to the arcade? Have they stayed out on main? Well, you're about to find the answer. Don't want to tap that ultimate orb. That'll give away too much information. And here we go, pushing up. So close, but yet so far. Just sees the Brim. Has to tap away. The bullet's missing, and well, finally gets the kill. There we are. JWU answer back.
Back and forth these two teams go. Clearly so evenly matched. 6 rounds of this game. Little strike still available for Banana Bar. Bombs now have that res. His disposal that just go a little too aggressive, a little too far forward. That could be something they turn to keep their duelist alive. Side of JWU. Strike there for Death Muffin. Vanguard 1 ult orb away from that Rolling under. So some key ultimates as this round.
Take this.
First bit of stun, first bit of space there for Yvette, and gotta take the space. A full 5-man rush, a great stun.
There.
JWU just ult this and it tracks, but that unfazed, unwavered aggression. This is how the Neon likes to play. They're going to keep moving forward. A couple pop shots there. The first bit of contact, and Yvette will drop down. Death up and holding down the line, but he's overwhelmed. Taken down by Conan Loire. The site finally going to Assumption's favor.
Assist. Oh, proactive control towards the defender spawn doesn't quite work out, but the trades come left, right, and centre. It stucks on Quack to win them all out. But with that plant spike, oh no, he just in face of main. This might not be too bad. Cali needs to get in towards this main, needs to contact these players. They know where they're going to be. They look at where they're already aiming. They know that the site should be clear, but it's whether they can find exactly. They take out the KJ turret, and now it's all about the gunfights after the nano swarm's being popped. Needs to tap. There we are. There's the first tap, and here comes the next nano swarm. It misses though. It's all about the gunfights. Can you find the head? Just misses out. Finally gets the tap, but the time's too late, and Ducks and Quack will just collect.
On Quack. Plays it off the peak. Has to bait his teammate a little bit. Just playing for time at that point. Doesn't matter. Those nano swarms, those stuns, too much. In that post-plant scenario, going to give Assumption University the 4th round victory. And now a plethora of ultimates. You're nearly 5 ultimates for Assumption University to play with. The opposite side of things, JWU looking at 1 Rolling Thunder to play for if they so choose, but it's going to be a save. It's going to be a bit of a Walmart buy for JWU going into round number 8, and they're going to try push forward, get a little bit of space, but Death Muffin steps way too far forward. Yvette takes him down. Now looking to continue the pressure, just bulldoze over A, and no guns to play with. I mean, this should be easy for Assumption.
Already got site control. This has been pretty much easy as it comes. Hot knife through butter, but in terms of the control, they're already dropping out towards main. The player just out on sands to protect any main position. They also have the lockdown invested. They've got so much in the pocket. Assumption. This is going to be so hard for JWU.
Investing. Lockdown. Yokai back in. Taken down by Yvette. They're still sliding forward, looking for 2. We'll get 3 on the round. I think those just come flooding in there for Assumption University. 5-3. Yeah, using that Killjoy lockdown just to invest a little bit more security into that round. Yeah, 5-3. Let's see now on this buy what JWU's solution is to this aggression. Do they turn to a flanker? Do they look at someone else to make a play happen, Kyra? What do you see happening for JWU to get back into this and try to avoid Yvette just popping off like he did previously? Yes, it was a save, but the premise still stands.
Yeah, I mean, for JWU to get back in towards this one, I mean, we've not been seeing many like kind of aggressive takes. I mean, or even trying to like see like, oh, this is where the main push is, let's try and go and take main, for instance. Well, the main push comes from Arcade, and look at this, with already the action happening on site, the players are getting lost. It's like they're a deer stuck in a headlight, and it's just getting found out. At least they've been able to deny the aggressive position of Assumption at this point in time, and they might have a chance in the retake.
Back for the retake, they have the Rolling Thunder. They have a hero rifle here for Vanguard if they want to invest into this. It seems like the way they're playing. Peering over the corners. Cali will get blown off there by Iron Valiant. His first kill. Bombs PC coming in. And Loire, the 3rd. Easy pickings there for Assumption University. A jubilant start to this game. 6-3. Looking for more. Still going to have all these ultimates to play for. And honestly, that was a buy. You have to remember that. In that scenario, they just got completely pummeled. Cairo, it really just feels like now, Yvette is turning up, Ducks on Quack, 13-3-4 on your breach. That is scary, because he's the one going in first, and that means he's popping off, that means he's getting his kills, and if that's the case, I mean, Yvette doesn't even have to do his job at that point. So really for Assumption University, everything smooth sailing for JWU. Gotta make sure they're locking down these corners, locking down these angles with the CC that they do have. See if they can do that.
Yeah, Looks like they're positioning the breach for a rolling thunder in towards B. This is the most stacked of sites, and look, already that is going to get popped. We did see the Neon ultimate, the over getting pushed as well. They're just waiting to get in, and here we are. There we go. Just easy as that. They tried to collect, but there's a real gunfight on towards the site. Paint shells go flying past Ducks on Quack as the spike goes down, and now this is where things get interesting in terms of the last two remaining. What can they find to pick apart? Not much as Cannon and Lenore gets in on towards that. The layup for Thog doesn't work for them, and the Odin just can't quite hit the mark.
Can't hit the mark. 7-3 for Assumption University. Again, pretty easy round there. Timeout from Cali and JWU try to figure out what is going on in this game. I mean, it's definitely, you know, a conversation of, you know, we are an attacking team. You do have the Reyna, you do have the Raze, plus the double initiator and the Brim. Obviously, you're playing for that second half. I think if you get 4, if you're JWE, you're probably happy with that. Obviously, you know, anything after that is a bonus. But I think the main problem is dealing with this Neon, dealing with this utility usage by Assumption University. I think that has been the difference maker. It's been that, along with communication. It really just feels like Assumption are on the same page in a lot of these pushes, Cairo.
Yeah, I would agree. A lot of the pushes are quite coordinated, but on top of that, I think JWU aren't playing their defence the way they should. When you look towards tactically, when you've already said it's more of an attacking team, so maybe sometimes the best form of defence is attack. Go and be aggressive in towards where they're pushing. This Neon doesn't have a gun out when she's running, so go and push her as she runs in, stuff like that. Like, if you can kind of overload the push, because most of the time it is a split. Look towards the map right now. The team of Assumption is completely split up. If you could be aggressive in towards where they are, then maybe you could do much better and take out these players. That's just something to think about at this moment in time. I mean, we've seen it in many other cases in terms of pro play. It happens all over. At this moment in time, though, A site's been completely dropped out of. It seems if they're really going to go for a retake scenario.
Ellie explodes Ducks on Quack before being taken down, looking to secure this A site. Great orbital strike there by JWU to deny, and Death Muffin from the flank disintegrates 2 Assumption University players, now looking for more, but this A site completely out of whack, completely out of sorts. The spike is down. Great kill from Iron Valiant. Bring it back to a 2v3 situation, but the spike is in favor of JWU. Death Muffin has this on lockdown, creating a barrier of entry. The spike in Assumption University. Yvette knows he has to make a move, knows he has to do something massive. They don't see above. It's Yokai from the heavens. The rafters can't find the kill. Iron Valiant good for 4, looking for the ace now in a 1v1 situation, but the spike is so far away. He has the lockdown to play for. You invested with 33 seconds. He's got 17 HP.
30 seconds left. Swarm grenade out.
To ascend up top for this gunfight with Death Muffin. He was hawking over this, waiting, anticipating. To mark Iron Valiant. There's the shot. There's the kill. The Brimstone. The 3K is pure. Death Muffin 23 on top.
Last round
and in charge. JWU 4-7.
Yeah, GW getting that round. The 4th round you were talking about is an important one. The retake, maybe that is just what they need, rather than losing these 2 initial players like they tend to do, being like the deals in the headlights that we spoke about previously. Maybe just drop out and play a 5 versus 5 retake. I mean, it seems as if they know where to go into the kind of hot marks in terms of players playing in towards main, etc. But it's another split for Assumption, and they just keep hard hitting the site every single time.
Last round situation. A lot of ults to play with. Dog actually moving under, playing off that smoke. Could be a timing situation towards Iron Valiant, and it is. The lockdown was invested as well. Will be instantly destroyed, but Yvette from the back half taking down Thog. A good 1-for-1 trade. Muffin, though, changes that up a little bit. Gets another kill on to Canan Loire. No more smokes to play with for Assumption University as they look to bolster their attack, getting to the site, but Death Muffin just winning every 1v1 he takes. He's unstoppable.
Yeah, it's massive. Great kind of realization as to what Assumption's push was all based upon, that lockdown. going into the kind of most popular position with the lockdown is and denying it. There is going to be that raise on towards the KJ, but obviously lockdown already used, so it is just a numbers game at this moment in time. Still sticking towards the B, still committing to this push, and they've heard the footsteps from underneath these defenders, so they've just locked down the site. They've fade the only contact on A, and it's not even needed.
Needed Cali. Stop watching from tower. That for a timing play on that reload does find Death Muffin before being taken down by Cali. There's the Rolling Thunder. There's the retake as Vanguard looks to lead the charge. Only 12 seconds to go for Assumption to get the plant down. Valiant.
One enemy remaining.
Jump up and try to get this plant over. If he has time, Bomb's PC will go down to Vanguard. 2v1. Pincer maneuver here. Valiant can't win that gunfight there from about 15 meters out with Vanguard. That'll be the win for the breach. A win here for JWU to end the half, 7-5. Somehow clawing the way back after what looked to be a really devastating start to this half. They turned it around in 5 rounds.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of diversity in the attack from Assumption, but they still take the advantage in towards the next half. There was good prioritisation in the post plan in terms of the positioning. In all, there needs to be a bit more diversity in terms of there's 4 ultimate points on the map. This is something that you should realistically be looking to kind of build up these ultimates and continuously be hitting. Yes, we saw a lot of ultimates from Assumption, but we could have seen more, and that's the crazy part. Now it's all about JWU maximising what they have in terms of fragging power with Cali and Thog sitting there, and the fact that you have your 2 initiators. I want to see how this kind of works in tandem together in terms of having your initiators support these duelists, but we'll need to see.
We're really going to keep eyes out. Thog, the mark over his head. See how that Reyna does perform. See if they're able facilitate this Reyna onto the site. There's the first flash for Vanguard, but the timing is there for Command Noir. Good for 1. Streaking in for 2 with the rest of his team. Ducks on crack. Just bulldoze down these players from tower. One more. It's just easy pick, and 1 by 1, they're just peeking out. Fog will be good for 1. There's a player to his left. It's Yvette who comes flying in with that frenzy. Easy stuff for Yvette and the Neon. 15 kills after round 1. Yvette popping off. To keep doing that though, especially on this defensive side, and you mentioned it especially, it's playing aggressive on defense, especially from this Neon pick. You want to see Yvette looking for space, different parts of the map, because Fracture, you know, you're gonna get flanked, and especially with this team comp, there's no flank watch for JWU. That's definitely something Assumption should be exposing.
Yeah, that's a massive point. The fact that there is no flank control. I mean, already we actually saw some aggressive movement on towards B. They're already pointing on the map for lineups in terms of the fault line, etc. They're clearing out the space. Look, there's nothing B. There's probably coming from Arcade, and they're calling that right through. They've got most of the util over on A, so most of the players are now on B. These players are moving in towards a meat grinder, and they're not even probing the site.
You can't do this. You can't push through. It's a death trap here. Ducks on Quack is watching over this. For 1. That. For another. Very orderly. Very organized from Yvette. He's got a 4K there with the stinger in hand. No buy from JWU. Definitely good to keep note of. 5-9 in favor of Assumption University, but definitely expecting them to win that round. And this is where things start to really change. This is where JWU tip the balance. Now buy up. Let's see if they can use these guns to their advantage. I see a Bucky. I see a Bucky there from Death Muffin 23. I'm not sure what that's all about. Not sure if he's gonna pop off with that. I'd love to see it, of course, but you know, we'll have to wait and see what Death Muffin got in store for us.
Yeah.
No way.
Maybe.
No way. This guy.
He's committing to it. He's committing to it the bit, definitely, but they're running in as 5. Just almost catching the Marshall out. Already having to drop out. There's a one-way created in towards the site as well, so that might give a little bit more of an advantage in towards main, although all the utility hitting on towards the site right now. There's already a prioritisation from Assumption to actually make the site a little bit horrible to move through, and they do that by taking Dish. There's players out on towards Rafters are waiting for the smoke to dissipate, and all the players that try to move in just get cut down constantly. These players can't move through. Oh, but maybe Thog has a chance.
Thog, he's gonna pop the Empress. Needs to win this. We talked about the Reyna. Can they perform? Bombs is right there to hit the shots. Can he do it? They both have to reload. It's awkward, but Thog goes right back in. The 3K. He wants it. Does he have it? 30 HP in a dream for Thog. Stutter stepping inside, dodging the flash. He's got the spike in hand. 37 seconds for Thog. He's got to win this round to turn it over.
30 seconds left.
Watching one side. He's got the timing. He spots the headpiece. He got the kill. Thog goes down. Ducks on Quack. Anticipates, juggling so many different angles. He's able to find the right one. It's good now. 18-6-6 for the Breach after 15 rounds. And that's a heartbreaker. That's your third round. That's the bonus. That's the thrifty, really. I mean, Assumption had no business winning that round, Cairo.
No, I mean, being on such a disadvantaged buy, it was going to be really, really tough. But they make it work, and it's the util game that makes it work for them. Thog as well, popping an Empress. I mean, that's the heartbreaker there. This is where things really start to get worrying now moving forward. Momentum solely in the defender's side its favour.
We'll just stop all movement here. Callie in a pretty awkward situation. Yvette turns the corner. Kill. Raze will plummet to the floor. Iron Valiant absorbing a lot of this pressure from JWU. Peeking in one by one as Yokai will scrape together the first kill here for the round in favor of JWU. Now that Breach utility going to be used to slow down this Assumption retake, but they have a pretty great situation here. A 4v3 Cairo pushing back in, and it just completely balloons now into a 4v1 situation. What can Vanguard do? 2 HP and 2 flashes to play for, but Ducks on Quack is there. No mercy being shown to JWU. 4 rounds in a row. Assumption are limitless on this defensive side. Everything is clicking.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, how many times have we seen the Breach on Neon take B main and then having to come back? This time when they take B main, they find the lurker out inside of the spawn for these attackers. They take the pick and force the players that are out on dish. Maybe they were looking to try and get an ultimate orb, or maybe they were looking, I don't know if they were actually going to try and bait or whatnot, whatever it is, they force them to try and have to take BA, right? They go on a site, they get the pick, fantastic, but what's happened by Assumption? They've already taken away they've taken away A main, they've taken away Sans, now you're stuck underneath, and it really has to be a brawl, but they're just throwing util at you. It was a really tough position from JWU, but it's great realization from Assumption.
Now we're cooking. VALORANT. One. It's overwhelmed. Bullets going his way. Smoke's gone. The Nightfall going to be used in conjunction with this Raze utility, and actually Vanguard gets a kill onto Valiant. Just that. Shock will find the kill. It's going to be the Rolling Thunder for Assumption, trying to deny the plan, but it goes down a little too late for them, and now they're going to have to push through. Blindly into the fire goes Yvette. The trades are so good from JWU, and Vanguard with the 3K. It's pure. Not so crispy. The Colonel would be honored. Sponsor that one there. Vanguard getting some much needed offense for JWU. That's their first round of the second half, 6-11.
Yeah, good stuff all in all. Now moving through and looking towards what's going to happen for these attackers. What can they do now? Well, you've just had your Rolling Thunder come online, so let's look towards B. Let's try and get that Rolling Thunder down and maybe kind of upset the players here. Pushing into a KJ sometimes isn't the best, or maybe they try and bait elsewhere. No, the spike is coming down, and we actually aren't having the Neon push out. It's going to be the Sage solo, which could be a potential pick, but nobody's there to try and capitalise. So at this moment in time, the fact-finding mission from Assumption has been taken. They found out there's players still in spawn, and the Brim found out there's not many players on A main at this moment, but it's soon to be.
The push in. Be a 4-man assault of the site. Loire is good for one with the Marshal. Will taken down. Raid there for Vanguard. Site will be cleared. Site will be sanitized, and the spike will be implanted on a bottom site. But Yvette will be good for one. Definitely will fall. But JWU looks like Vanguard looking to rip Rolling Thunder, and that's going to be used to kill Yvette. Take down the Neon. It's going to be Ducks on Quack in a 2v1. One player from drop, one player from site. He's got one piece of utility to play with. Us will come through. Vanguard is there with the peek and the kill. 3K again. It's just easy, simple VALORANT. Cairo can't mess that stuff up, and JWU playing to their strengths, playing for that post-plant scenario. Get another round win.
Yeah, exactly. And there should be pretty much a half buy here, but it seems if the players are going to opt to go for some of the lesser weapons just so that they're all on the same buy, and there's no light shields, etc., which is fair enough sometimes. When you have plenty of rounds to play with, you may as well do that. Duxon Quack actually buying the Hero Vandal up, or the Hero Phantom I should say, up this time. In terms of JWU, seems as if it's going to be another straight hitter on towards the A site. Ray's lurking down towards the B main position and will just collect bombs there. So now already a person advantage for Assumption. These first bloods not quite hitting the mark, but certainly hitting the mark for JWU.
Great position to be put in for JWU. If you can use that. Space. Smoke. I want to play towards Sands if this is the case. Try though. Worried about someone inside of the smoke. They're worried about the ratty corners. Everything is being checked. Doing their due diligence. Yvette. Pop. Ultimate looks to go aggressive. Death Muffin silences that Neon play. Cali is good for one. Those are the two hot hands for Assumption University. Gone now, dwindling away. Chances of a win here for Assumption University. Canan Loire in trouble and taken down. A very low risk play again from JWU. Just playing that slow, playing off the utility. And that's what's working for them. You mentioned it, Cairo, using that utility, using that to your advantage, facilitating those duels to push up. You have the Reyna, you have the race to make space, and now it's going to be a timeout from Yvette in Assumption University, and this was looking very good for them. The first 4 rounds went their way. JWU turning it around each round at a time.
Yeah, exactly. One round at a time, focused on what's next for Assumption University. After the save on the last round, or their half by somewhat, they're looking to time it. Let's look at where we're going wrong. I.e., when they're pushing out B main, they're leaving themselves a bit open. Last time they were having the breach support the Neon push out, but the past couple of times I've seen it's been a Sage just solely walking down to pick up an ultimate orb. Not the best idea, and sometimes that's exactly what you're leaving yourself open to. Let's look towards not giving away these first bloods. As for JWU, for me, I mean, you've created the condition, and once you hit a site, you fully commit. Why not just try and send some util there, bait the opponents over? I mean, I'm sure I remember we saw Assumption do it. They baited their opponents through just by one piece of contact. Now do that, and now kind of go to the other site. So we'll need to see exactly what happens, but that's the 60 seconds gone. Now the plans will have to come to fruition.
We'll have to. Assumption looking to avoid 4 round losses in a row for JWU. Continuing the momentum from the previous rounds. Have 2 ultimates to play for, 3 on the side of Assumption. See if those get used. Take note of them. But Dog will play in and out of the smoke. Canan Loire. What's the timing on this? We'll see if the action is brewing towards Arcade. This is a 4-stack towards B now with 1 player over towards Long. It's going to be a heap of utility embraced towards the B site. Let's see if Assumption is ready for it. They have a lockdown. They have a res to play with. AJ's actually on site, so you're probably not going to be able to use that. And look at this. It's the rotation. It's the bait, but this is going to be a contact play with Yvette. Looking at Yokai. Grabs that first kill. Looking for one more. He's got the stun, the slide. Looking for the kills. Streaking around. He's trying to play out of the box. Kali finally goes down. It's a 5v3 situation. Maybe going back towards A. There's so many options with Fog now on the flank. He's got a kill. He's got 2 Leers to play with. In Yvette, a battle, a 1v1. The Leer, the blind. A pre-fire. Not good enough. Yvette grabs the kill, a 3k. Great duelist play out of the Neon. Make it a 4v2.
Yeah, look at the spike, though. It's already been ferried away, and if they try to take the quickest route back, there is already a Brim ready to take their heads off. But the 2 teams of players on a defensive side that are playing in 2s, they're already at the extremities. They're going to go through the 2 other lanes, not through the quickest way back to site. So this is not what's going to come through most pivotal. Looking towards what the defenders now, or the 2 attackers, I should say, the Rolling Thunder, they've got that in pocket. But when you're looking at, for instance, an orbital striking a lockdown and a res to come through, this is going to be tough.
Oh, massive flash there from Vanguard. That's 1, that's 2. He's got 2 more from drop, though. They don't know it. Lockdown's going to be used. Try to hold these players down. Now it's just all on Vanguard. V2, again in the same position. Playing for time, playing for post. He's got the Rolling Thunder as well. He's going to let it rip. Blow back, Valiant. off the spike, and there's no time Kyra to play with. He didn't get half. He didn't get it. There's no time. 3K for Vanguard anyway. 9-11. JWU continuing this comeback.
They're keeping themselves alive here. I mean, that Rolling Thunder was massive. A Vets dropped a 30 bomb after that round, after getting those 2 pickups. The awareness, though, of Dog coming across that wire just wasn't there for the 2 defenders that pushed through. But, I mean, you're in a 4 versus 2. Just wait. Just take your time and play together. I get that you're playing in 2 teams of 2 and you can trade each other for at least 1, but come on. Play as a 4 and you'll be in such a better position. Leaving the fact that breach out on main was just so tough, and it seems if we are going to get another one of these aggressive plays from the breach and the neon.
I'm out of here.
The build
Go.
space towards A main. Paint shell is going to be used to thwart some of that aggression.
Got one.
The room.
Go.
That 1v1 against the Rays. Callie will drop, and that's one of duelists for JWU. They have Fog to play for, and actually this Ulthor will give him the Empress. Could be imperative towards this round. Left a lot of space towards Arcade, so slow building blocks for JWU to play off of, and they finally pulled the trigger. They finally let it rip. It's going to be Valiant with 2 kills, trading it out on site, but he's taken down.
The spike.
It's going to be a 2v2 as the spike will go forward.
Last player standing. 1 enemy remaining.
Gets that
Spike
pick,
down,
trades
B.
it out. There is a res available and an orbital strike, but the spike being down. Death Muffin just peeks out the shoulder. They've not got a lot of HP here. 1 swing, 1 bullet is all it takes. And that's exactly what happens. Bombs finishes it out.
Huge clutch for
Match
bombs.
point.
They needed that. Assumption finally get themselves to match point. Now the pressure is built on JWU. They have to win this round. It's going to be pretty awkward buy. Stinger there for Death Muffin. Should be fine. It's honestly probably stronger than a Vandal anyway. We've all probably lost a 1v1 regardless of the Stinger from long range. So I think Death Muffin should be fine, especially with that stim in the back of his pocket. That could be something that just blows someone over. Hanan is going to be running with the Marshall. Yeah, so not the greatest buy either on Assumption's side. So see what they turn to. A res, though, for bombs. That's going to be crucial to keep him alive. Make the Sage. It's one of these last couple players, so that res could be used. But that's going to be an early pick, an early kill for Cali. Early man advantage for JWU, and they're probably just going to storm the B site with this kill.
Oh, but Thog locking in the background. Look at this. Just completely silenced it all the way up into tower. There's nobody here. The site is clear. And it's now into a 4 versus 3. The res available still at the back pocket to make the numbers even. But you still have an Empress as well. In terms of util, I mean, there's 2 slows and a heal. So things might not be as bad in terms of long range weaponry, though. It's not working out in favour. A Spectre in the hands of bombs. I mean, the Spectre has been nerfed at long range. And you can see exactly that come into play.
The kill there for Vanguard. This breach slowly building, slowly heating up. 19, 17, and 7. Looking at that triple-double as this game continues. A lockdown is going to be available for Valiant. That's going to be a huge ultimate to play for. Avec go for a flank. And again, there's no flank watch against this JWU squad. They wouldn't be opposed to Yvette finding that open area, finding that open corridor, taking that flank full force. That could be the game changer. That could be the difference maker in this round, as it's going to be early setup, very slow, cautious, methodical approach from JWU. So they will waltz their way towards A. B members of Assumption are on this site ready to absorb the pressure, and that's going to be the wall. Early contact, early getting rid of it. Great flick from Oyet. That take 1, but it's not going to be enough, and now it's a 5v4. The Nightfall is going to be used to get all of these players offsite.
Yeah, already at a 3 versus 5. I mean, it's almost just trying to look for picks, see where you can get out, do some damage to the economy, but or even get an ultimate out. I mean, they've already got 1, so that's an advantage, or at least something to take out. But at this point in time, I don't think there'll be much to take away from this, especially going in towards the last round. Already the util coming their way. Death Muffin takes out Iron. This is already looking flawless. 1 left, and they have a Marshall. When it comes to these short range fights, they will not be an advantage.
See what he can do. exactly where he is, just in case. He's having some fun with him. No time to play with or Nan. Just run away, but he's running right into the arms of Dog. He will find that kill. Take down the Brimstone. 11-12. JWU looking to flip the script and turn this game around. If they can do it, losing 4 in the first bit of the second half, winning 4 again. JWU done everything they can. They've done their part. Now they need one more round to play with. I imagine Cairo, that Rolling Thunder, that Empress are going to be pivotal coming up.
Yeah. No, these ultimates is going to be massive. I mean, it's whether they try to take this proactive control that they have been doing. I mean, they're more towards Arcade than Neon, and the breach is set up. There's ultimates to be used. Even a Rolling Thunder into this position would be massive, but they don't have the contact just yet. They have the contact now, though, and maybe they're just going to hold it. Nope, it is going to be that fault line, and they are just going to delay the push for a little bit more. The thing is, though, being stuck on site, you're going to have to hit your shots, and those smokes will isolate the flights as well. Taking an ultimate orb here as they move through. It hasn't brought anything online, and no ultimate's being used just yet. Finally, here we go. The overcharge from the Neon can Vet push through. No, they're actually playing patient. Remember, that will tick away, and Ducks on Quack takes out Cali.
Huge kill onto the duelist. Both duelists gone already. 5v3 situation. Looking to push back now with the Rolling Thunder, completely denying surely bit of contact for JWU, and now losing their 2 main duelists. They have to pull the trigger. They have to do something. The flank is coming. It's imminent. It's approaching. Do they know it's? They know it's behind them. I don't think they do. Nan gets another kill as well. Valiant in the corner. He's got 1. Can't find 2. Death Muffin is good for 1, but it's all for nothing. And Assumption University deny that comeback from JWU. Was slow. Came out on top. That second half, definitely intense, firing on all cylinders, both sides, but a really close game, and I think it's going to be an exciting map too, and it will be, just to remind everyone, Ascent for map number 2, and if we do get to it, Split will be our 3rd map there. So, Assumption University winning that first game. Any points, Kara, before we go to a break that you want to highlight?
I mean, I was impressed by Assumption's proactive control, but both teams on the attack looking very direct. We saw one kind of bait, one fake, so we need to see, I think, a little bit more play of the map, look for more map control from these attackers. That's the one thing that I'd be looking for.
Oh, absolutely. We will go to a little bit of a break. When we come back, more Valorant action on the NECC channel. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to week 1 of some NECC Valorant action. I am Camel. Joined alongside me is Cairo. Saw a 13-11 bloodbath between JWU and Assumption University. Assumption coming out on top here, and now we move to Ascent for map number 2. We will bring up the agent select screen here to show you guys what the changes are, any similarities, and one thing to keep of note, School a Lot is getting subbed in here for Yokai, as well as Pumper and Nickel Nib coming into play. So 2 new players for JWU side. Cairo, let's look at the picks. Anything that catches your eye?
Well, Thog seems to be a Reyna main, and that's what seems to be coming through constantly. The only difference is, I think, from their the comp on the kind of that side is the fact that we are seeing the Reyna come through rather than a Jet or a Raze, and an Omen instead of the Brim. So that's what we tend to see in terms of comps. I didn't quite get to catch the other side, but when we get to a look at that, I'll give you my opinion then.
Okay, sounds good. See what the setups are. We'll see how JWU adjusts with bringing 2 new players in. Obviously, that's going to change your comms a little bit. You're not going to be as used to playing with those different types of people. So see if they can adjust quickly and on the spot. Definitely going to have to if you want to win this and force a game 3 scenario. Assumption obviously up 1-0 after that first map fracture. So going to be a B setup, 5 stack over towards this particular site, but fortunately for JWU and their fans, this is where the KJ is locked up. So Pumper Nickel Nib will have a chance to at least get some contact on these players if they do end up electing to go to this B site. Huge knife will actually not protect anyone. Good destroy on that. It's going to be insta-rotate, actually. Not even worth it, they say. Just going to push out.
I'm loving the Astra pick. I'm really hoping this does well, but Thog is unsupported in mid. And there we go. It's as easy as that. Just not dry swinging. Thog just completely isolated. Right, Vanguard's hearing all this noise as they cross from B to A. Again, JWU have bit early, and Iron Valorant, well, they're biting into all the heads of these players. At least Vanguard gets a trade, but it's a 4 versus 2 post plant.
Oh, that shifty, sneaky, lurking. We'll have Ducks on Quack to back him up. Pumper Nickel Nib in trouble. Back and forth. 3-1. Give him that contact. The vet, mid-range magic there from the Jet. The frenzy shots, 31 HP. First round going the way of Assumption University. Off the back of a big round from Iron Valiant over towards mid. Got those ghost headshots on lock. Start off round number 1.
Yeah, big time. I mean, already 2 big massive kills. I think the biggest part from that was the kind of call to just rotate away. I mean, you don't always need to hit a sight when you choose it, and it was great from them. Though I don't necessarily like the mid control and the setup from JWU. You've got a Brim just kind of solo there rather than maybe sticking an alarm bot in case people get too close towards market. And already Assumption looking to 5 stack towards the B main position. I don't think the knife spotted anybody, and now they start to pause for that execute.
A bit of util. Smoke, a molly to 9. Stop some of this initial contact. Nickel Nib will be stunned for a brief moment. Good owl drone. Spot a lot of where these players are coming from, and Flash will be moved through as well, but again, not committing to this site yet. It's going to be a kill from Iron Valiant, and dash is going to be used as well. Do they spot Fog? They do. Get rid of the lurker from Logs. And the updraft will be used by a vet just to deny a bit of that molly damage. There's the shots coming in. Obviously, with this save, you're expecting Assumption just overpower JWU. A good kill there from a vet. It's going to be a 4v1 Vanguard, just nowhere to go.
Oh yeah, this is hard. Harsh. Even worse when you just get a swing like that, supported by the breach. The Guardian goes to waste. Nobody's going to be able to catch that, but well played nonetheless. A lot of those guns getting through.
For Assumption University is now, eyes are going to come in for JWU. This is the chance for them to come out on top. Yeah. See how they pivot over to this for this 3rd round.
I mean, the fact that most of these guns come through from the last round, they're going to be in a good spot to kind of upset their opponents. Not on top of that, the eco looks pretty good as well. I mean, they're going to be able to buy up again, so this is almost like a pretty dangerous bonus, but bomb's already getting taken out. Vandal dropped, so there's an upgrade for one of the players already, but they repeat the same angle and just feed Cali.
No, gotta be some CC around this. Cali trying through damnness to deal with that pressure from Yvette, but finally the Bulldog is the saving grace for the Jet. Finds the kill, a stunning strike from that Jet, making a 3v4. No dash though for Yvette to get into this site, so now you're going to be seeing JWU play back, play off of this Owl drone, now pushing back in for more.
Second bite of the cherry. What can they find? Oh, a shock dart on yourself's not great either. That might give an advantage to these players trying to move through, trying to go for the Spectre at long ranges, not to be advised. At least Stock gets somewhat of a trade. Right, Vanguard from up above takes out a vet. Can they spray through? No, they can't. At least there was 2 rifles dropped though, so pretty decent round all in all. An Assumption now can come in with a full cavalry.
Yeah, decently shaky there from JWU, but a win is a win at the end of the day. They're going to be able to keep a lot of those guns into that second round. A rampant retake from JWU to now stop a lot of that aggression. Assumption winning those first 2. We'll now have a full buy. We'll have a Vet's Blade Storm to play off of as well. But at least for right now, JWU, even with these 2 substitute players coming in, everything seems to be in working order. Everything proper, everything correct. I don't think they're going to be peeking this anymore after knowing Cali's been there. After what you did last round, I don't think Assumption want to play with it. I don't think they want to mess with it anymore.
No, definitely not. They'll probably just smoke it off, but no, they're actually going to fault line it. They find Thog instead of finding Cali. This could be just as dangerous, you know. The Reyna has to support themselves, has the utility to do so. But you need to click the heads to find them.
Big kill for Bombs. Now marching over to the A site. 2 players on this site. Smokes are going to go down. Garden, maybe one towards heaven. Look at the space, though, from Iron Valiant. A great flick from Cali. Receive that kill over in mid, and that stops what would have been the X factor there for Assumption. That mid flank would have been huge. Yvette taking a barrage of ammo to the chest. 24 HP in a dream. 4v4. The shock darts will be lofted back into the site. Blade Storm available. Good bombs on this flank, wrapping around. Pressure building. Spike now just going lower and lower. Time being chewed off the clock. There are the trades coming in. Back and forth they go. Bombs PC finds Vanguard. 2v2 spot. Asher's got some stars to play with. It's going to be School playing off the suck. What happened? Canan Loire, good for 1. A 1v1 situation. No HP though for School The Sova has the concuss to play with as well. The fuse won't be there. It's a great play. The clutch from Canan. Pure, systematic of the Astra. 3-1 after 4.
Yeah, just in general, the whole setup of the post plant was very, very nice. Having a late retake of shot. If the players are too busy looking towards the site, you're going to find 2 players looking away from you. So good stuff all in all. Looking at this money, it's not looking great. We're even getting forces coming through. A little bit of a half buy. Obviously, with the lost bonus starting to come through, they can start to find these extra weapons to do the damage. And the Astra Util, I mean, I don't even need to make a comment on it. Blade Storm will be procced. I don't know if that knight caught anyone, so that information might be lost, but they do have the information in terms of audibles, in terms of those steps.
It a little bit slower. Again, they have an inkling of suspicion that maybe the KJ's in the area. Maybe there are too many players over towards B, so they're going to pivot to use the Vet here. Just as Vision Seeker for some of these players. Dash available for a Vet. Actually, Scooch a lot. Will drop down. Canan just pre-fires the angle, gets that first kill of the round. You're already in a 5v4 situation. You have that orbital strike to play for. The spike is already down. Using that, just kind of a waste of the ultimate for JWU. And the lockdown is going to be used by Assumption in counter to that. Just say get off the site. No, we can do, and Yvette's gonna get a kill just in case. Perfect there for Assumption as a 5v3 now is underway.
Perfect response to use that lockdown after the orbital strike. Just in fact, now there's nothing that can destroy it. Now there's so much delay. Maybe you didn't need it just because of the man count.
You want to go back in if you are JWU, but where do you go? Where do you turn to? There's going to be a player poking out from tree. Aga's around from heaven. He has no HP, though, to play with. Yeah, Bombs PC gets one. There's the flank from Yvette. From the back half, dash away to safety. Yeah, it's a 5v1. I couldn't even do anything about that push. Assumption playing that one very cleanly.
Yeah, very well played indeed. And on top of that, it's just all in all, just a response from to use the lockdown after the orbital strike, knowing that there's now nothing that can destroy it, especially after the fact that when you look towards it, I mean, there's no breach, the shock darts probably won't hit, and there's nano swarms as well, maybe the fragment, but I mean, even at that, it's going to be tough. All in all, massive kind of macro play. On top of that, though, maybe they didn't even need it. The man count was there. I mean, Assumption were just kind of so far ahead in that last round, and they keep doing it. The one thing that I don't like is they're losing a lot of map control to just 5 stacking outside of a main. Maybe I don't know if that's for a push, but you can do that with 2 or 3. That's the only thing that I can kind of correct right now. As for JWU, they're trying to kind of be aggressive. They're not. They're dry peeking things. We're not seeing the flashes. We're not seeing the support from the initiators. So that's what I want to see. That's the difference.
The divide comes in, blocks off market, blocks off CT, Pumpernickel Nib. He's in a good spot. A couple of players here for JWU just lurking in the shadows. Thog shifting around. Ducks on Quackville will be good for one. The redirect with the spray won't be enough. The kills. And flying back in, it is haywire. It is mental chaos for Assumption University. There's a good trade for Vanguard, finding bombs. They at least saw one player towards the back of Boathouse. They'll flash it. Great shot there at a Vanguard. Takes the skull off of the Astrakhan, and Loire is dropped. It's a 2v1 for Valiant. Be spotted there by that dagger. Do they know? Do they suspect his location? That's the main question. Won't even win that 1v1 against Vanguard. He comes out with a 3K, the KO masterclass. 2-4 in favor of Assumption, but somehow, some way, JWU finding and scraping together these rounds.
Yeah. I mean, they got it back. Kelly picks up an extra ultimate orb for the orbital strike. All in all, I mean, we look at that round, just playing as a duo just worked out. I mean, it's this whole thing of fact. Look, kind of, you look at the map, right? Let's look at the kind of overall macro from Assumption. I mean, you 5 stack outside one side of the map. I mean, you're going to lose towards the other side, potentially even mid. I mean, we look at how they're setting up now. I'm liking us so much better. The Sova can do more. The Sova can get their darts in other places. So I'll need to see exactly how that round plays out. But at the start, this is a better difference.
Moving up. The vet. Currently suppressed. Vanguard. Gonna take that initial peek. For the flash. Ooh, this is a problem. Aftershock put between a rock and a hard place, and Vet Blaze early on gets that first kill. A bit more damage as Valiant destroys Pumpernickel Nib. The KO is good. The KJ, excuse me, as Vet gets another crispy kill with the dash as well to play for. And this is just Vet having all the confidence oozing there through his veins. He wants to take every gunfight in the book. He's got a 3K and he wants more.
Can't be satisfied. That's the way you like to see your duelist. Always salivating for more. And well, Cali salivating to maybe just get out safe. And realistically, there's already pings towards the location. I think they know, especially after popping that window. The peak coming through out towards Cat from main. I mean, Cali really doesn't have a safe passageway in towards the spawn of these attackers, and I think that's exactly where they're looking to go. Oh, here comes the swing, and just misses out. Bombs, taking that last kill. Flawless round indeed. Well played from Assumption. Very nice executing. I mean, the space in towards mid, lovely.
Very, very nice there. And that's going to be a timeout, much needed. And I think what you're talking about here is, guys, we have 4 ultimates. Pyro, this is not an episode of Hoarders, okay? We're not on TLC. You can use the ultimates. It's okay. And I think this is the round to do it. Or if they want to wait until they buy, that's fine too. But, you know, you have so many different ways of dealing with and denying this initial entry from a vet on the jet. You have the KO, you have the null command, you have the Hunter Shuri, the lockdown, even the Empress from a flank could be a possibility. You're going to remove that KG utility. You're going to move that flank watch that can allow Thog to get behind enemy lines. Assumption.
Yeah.
See if they keep track of that stuff. I mean, you have to use something for JWU. Being aggressive with your ultimates, especially on defense. That's the thing that we talked about, is being aggressive on defense, taking space on defense when you know you have an advantage. That's important for both these squads.
Yeah, big time. I mean, we're seeing like the KO knife being used. They're not getting much out of it because, well, the players know you can just stand outside. On top of that, JWU are very like to bite down on the apple on the first. Oh, sorry, like to bite at the first sign of an apple, if that makes sense. As soon as there's a little bit of presence, it's like, let's try and throw everything at it. They're stacked towards more of B because that's where the conditioning's been. That's where assumptions hit most of the time, and it's not going to work out. The A site's completely free. You've got one Brim in towards short, and they might have already baited out a rotate. Already the KO moving in towards mid now. And this conditioning's been perfect from assumption in the way that they've been doing it. Continuously making your opponent think that something's going to happen, and they've given up the site of A for almost free.
This will be layered down. And this should give at least the idea. Assumption over in this area. They want to pull players over this rotation. This is such smart Valorant, Pyro, because now, the stars are over towards A. We need to go over here. All 5 players moving over towards A, and they take the long way around so the Brim doesn't see them. This is going to be a free B site.
It's so perfect. It's completely perfect. Not only that, the KG utility is going to be down. Maybe it's a bit much for the Rolling Thunder, but at least they're clearing it. We're going to get the 0.9, and it detects 3 of the agents, so now they know, JWU, we need to get across, we need to get across. And on top of that, you've got Sova looking outside of main as a kind of last ace up the sleeve. This is lovely. I think it's even better with that first pick.
First pick. 4v4. Get back into the site. Where do you go? Good space from Vanguard and the rest of the team. Vet, though, good for 1. Moving back and forth. Doesn't have a dash to play with, but he has bombs on this flank. Looking for the shots. It's a catastrophic whiff from bombs. Scooch a lot. We'll make it a 3v3, and the Hunter Shrew will be primed and ready. Gonna force the players off the site. Kanan Loir forced to make a move. He's good for 2. Can he find 3 and ice the round? Good 1. For Scooch a lot, but Aved is there. Aved is finding those kills. The acrobatic jet moving forward inside for his second kill there. 6-2. JWU, I mean, that was a good try from Vanguard. It was a good try from Scooch a lot. Just not enough.
Yeah. I mean, the first initial frag going away of these the attackers when they're defending the spike. I mean, it has to be traded out quickly. It does so, but on top of that, I mean, Bombs is lucky that he didn't cost his team the round, but I mean, they were doing in such a good spot. Now looking towards this, I mean, there's an op being picked up by Iron Valiant to be able to kind of hold down mid from that, but I mean, on top of this, you've got so many more ultimates, the Cosmic Divide being used up here. There's going to be not a lot of information in terms of the sound, and they're just getting in completely free.
Huge kill there from Iron Valiant and Bombs PC, but look at this corner, look at this angle from that Brimstone. Right behind enemy lines, Cali sneaking inside of the Astral Divide, getting that first kill onto a vet. Looking for more, can't find more. 2v2. Pumpernickel Nib looking to upgrade. Looking to build. To get his 3rd round victory, but it's just playing for time. Just playing slow. Methodical. Valiant does go down. I just play out the stars. Kanan Loir in a 2v1. A shot from Vanguard. In trouble. Spike is being stuck. He has time. Got half, crucially. It's the 3rd round for JWU. Their fans elated after that one, 3-6.
Nice kind of Astra tech that we're seeing there. By using the pools, etc. But when you're using that gravity well, you kind of want to put it just slightly to the side of the spike. That way you pull them off of it, and therefore they lose time. And the gravity wells, I think, recently have been very, like, I don't know if they've been buffed or whatnot. I've not checked the patch notes, but they seem a lot stronger than what they used to be. On top of that, I like the fact that Riot Vanguard realised, look, this has happened before. We know what's going to happen here. So let's just position ourselves a little bit more aggressive to stop the swings. And, well, they protected the spike pool. So, anyway, massive stuff there. And now, let's look at what's happening. It's already a very aggressive mid push, and they're already on towards the site. They've completely wiped out the KG, and there goes the Arena. The util's down, the stopping power's down, and the site is free.
3.
Very free. The vet. This is Ace Alert. This is Ace Watch here. The vet right now. 4 HP for Vanguard. Scooch a lot. Silences the jet. That will be taken down. Bomb PC again from this flanking position. That's 2 rounds in a row. He bobbles it. 3v2, and you're just going to save, I'd imagine, with the op in hand. Vanguard, 4 HP. He'll just sit back and relax. Maybe figure out what movie he's going to watch tonight. No real action, I'd imagine. Scoochlet's going to save this operator. Bring that into the next round, because we talked about it, how important this mid control was going to be, all this utility being used. We saw that fast push up market this round. That operator is going to deny that mid push if it does arise against it. Before they do end up saving this. And Loire takes down Vanguard, but the op, crucially, is saved, and that's what matters most after this round.
Don't know if the op might stop the mid push, because it can be extremely overwhelmed quickly, but it's certainly an operator on the defender's side is going to be so much better. The fact that you can essentially just watch the site by themselves, the only thing I do worry about is the only person that has that kind of get out of jail free card is the Arena, and need to hit their shots. So I guess there is a big caveat here. The operator will be stationary, and that can easily be overwhelmed if they decide to try and overwhelm it as the time being. It is going to be another mid push, and it is Arena just sitting and trying to dry peek once again. They can spam this. I was going to say they can spam it, but they don't even need to. They're going to use the breach utility. We know what it's like. The ascent is full of paper walls, and you may as well start to shoot through them.
Dog just gets destroyed. Galley that's dismembered, head taken off of the brimstone, and now it's a 5v3 already. You have a null command, you have a lockdown, but do you really want to invest that into the next round? You talk about now the op is in play with a retake. Fortunately, Scooch does find a kill there onto Kanan, and Vanguard with the ghost in hand takes down Valiant. Not sure how even that's possible, but it happens, and now we're going to use the null command. You have a situation where you have an advantage. You have moments to keep pushing forward. Yvette, though, takes down Vanguard, takes down the KO, and that null command will still be moving, though. Will still be going. Ducks on Quack is good for one with this kill, and Bombs now won't mess up that flank. He's got that kill. 3-8 is the scoreline. Assumption University continue to build and build on this lead. Now 3-8 is the scoreline.
Yeah, it's extremely worrying that JWU can't contact us. I mean, everything that Assumption University are able to do, JWU can't seem to contest. It seems like we're watching a team of individuals play against an oiled machine, and that's what Assumption are. They're just well oiled, and they just are able to pick off these individuals one by one and then use their advantage later in the round. It's so harsh. Maybe they can do better on the attack, but at this moment in time, this last round, I mean, they're going to have to find something. Already the Cosmic Divide and Jet Knives being used, a lockdown and a Hunter's Fury to come later on. This is going to be rough. Oh, spike down. Oh.
2 kills for Thog. The dismiss. Elusive to get away after that one. The Ares, he's got 2 kills, a 5v3. That puts him in great standing for this round. And I don't even know how that happened. Thog just doesn't get cleared. He gets 2 kills because of it. Where do you turn to? Your attack now is so brittle if you're Assumption University. Maybe there's a flank. Maybe there's a mid push to speak of. Yvette with that operator finds Scooch a lot. Is that something that Assumption can play off of?
Right, at this moment in time, it's 3 versus 4. And well, there is going to be that lockdown invested, but you need to wait, or maybe you don't. You can just swing off that flash. It's not been brought down to 2 versus 2. Make it 2 versus 1. The lockdown about to come through, about to potentially detain, but it doesn't. Thog's managed to escape and does have the Emperor's prop. That is going to be a higher fire rate and a better opportunity to dismiss and re-heal. They'll do that. And now they're on a time limit with this KG on the other side. They're going to wait for that audible of the spike being planted. And here we go. Just set up with your util and play off of it. There's even the turret to be used as well. The Reyna gonna be losing time on this rotate here.
Wow. Will choose with the back site boathouse turret. Will spot Thog. The overkill is gone. 49 HP now that Thog will not have. Already broken. 83. Dwindling lower and lower. Taking the side of lane, looking for the shots. The headshot was there, but Valiant holds the line, holds the ground, firm, strong, and ready.
Switching sides.
Deals with the aggression, deals with the assault being made by Thog. Now 9-3 is the scoreline for Assumption University. Moving into the second half, 22-6-2 for Yvette, leading the server by a wide margin, and he's cracked. He's clearly on something right now. Let's check his PC. Something, Pyro, because this guy, I mean, 22 kills, next person has 9. That's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Yvette, I mean, almost on a 30 bomb, and we're not even into the second half just yet. 9 seconds to go, and then we'll get things going. How the defensive half setup looks, I'm liking it. We've got the Jet who can dash out of mid. We've got KG and Sova set up on B. That tends to be who it is, and this is going to be a pretty much overwhelm, honestly, because there's 5 players start outside B, and we know how Fracture went. Things can easily switch on a dime.
You're moving into KJ and Sova. This is going to be disgusting. That shock dart might do some decent damage. The tags. That. That's a handful of players. Vanguard actually was brought down very low. 2 extremely low players on JWU's side.
Spike down
there from
B.
Penan Lenore. He's off the head of the Brimstone. Cali is gone. That's the smoke's gone. That means getting onto site just got a whole lot harder. And the spike actually is in front of them. It's in a really, really precarious situation, Cairo. How do you push out for that? You have to use this drone in some capacity, but now you don't have the Sova. They're gone. They're just going down one by one, falling like flies. The domino effect is here for Thog. He'll dismiss out of the stun. But now he's going to look behind him, and he's in trouble. He's taken down 3-10. Assumption University win a much-needed pistol round to really stamp home the point. They're going to win this. They're not dealing with a 3-9 curse right now.
No, they are certainly not. Now this looks as if it could be extremely tough for JWU. If you want that 9-3 curse activated, I mean, you really have to win the pistol. And also it is going to be an uphill battle, and well, mate, you may as well get your Timbies on, because you're going to need to battle your way to the top. Now, looking at this, they're going to kind of force up a Bucky. I don't know if that's the best decision. We'll need to see exactly as they try to get through on towards B. They give away their position already, and they like to recommit. They like to really send home the site as the util comes through. The setup's already there, and here we go. The util is getting responded with.
Oh, but you're just walking through the sludge of Sova, this Killjoy. It's just impossible to work through. This Thog is already dropped. This Bucky becoming an issue. Valiant takes down Vanguard. The 180 flick by Valiant in the spin cycle on top of Cali. Penan Lenore takes down Pumpernickel Nib. And Yvette takes down Scooch-a-lot. Again, flawless for Assumption. And it's just getting to be a problem. An abundance of kills. Oh, man. You know, you gotta buy, right? Spectres? Oh, man. This might be... I mean, this... You gotta buy, guys. Come on. Okay, there we go. There's the buy. Okay, we're good.
Maybe they think being on the close quarters, maybe the Spectres will do better. I'm not too sure. I mean, it's going to be a choice of potentially third time lucky for JWU. They were stacked outside B. They've decided against it and going to go for mid. But there's already a breach peeking out. 0.9 does head in towards shot, but it's shot. So now there's no any sort of detection. These flashpoints just working out in favour. They've been able to delay, and here we go. Everything starts to fall apart. The bullets start to rain off, and the players start to fall. It's a domino effect. It's a house of cards. And now there is nobody left. Assumption, they move on towards match point.
Match point.
And just an enraged assault on top of Cat. Assumption University. Oh, man. Disregard JWU. Yeah, guys, you're there. We don't really care. Yo, that's your buy. We don't really care. And you're going to get a pretty interesting buy. You know, an Ares, a Marshall, a Spectre. You know, you have the whole Goodwill store of Valorant right here in JWU's inventory. So maybe you can play for this. The 12th round for Assumption University. They have one more to win. A vet 25-7-3 after 15 rounds of play. Really putting a stranglehold individually on JWU, and he wants more. Can't actually use the dash because of that suppression. He'll look for that quick peek, and he finds a handful of players just watching over him. The flash does not do anything, and he's taken down early. Let's see if that gives JWU the ghosting of the confidence if they can say so.
Yeah, already looking to hit out. They've got the L drone to support in terms of the information here, but I mean, this is where things are going to get tough with this. Operator still up on Heaven. At any point, he can start to rain the fire down. The Lear at least gets him on towards site, but here we go. The other utility comes through. The trades are there, the guns are there, and they're able to find their way safely on towards site.
Spike planted.
5v1. Not much you can really do. I'd imagine you're just going to save this if you are Conan Lenore. Play for some exit frags, but this is great for JWU, even though obviously the scoreboard is telling a different story. Just the confidence. Anything can change in Valorant. You know, on a change of a dime, you can start winning, you can start hitting your shots. Okay, let's see if we can get this up over the wall. We're going to try again. Maybe build some of the arm strength. Okay, going back to Boathouse. So yeah, nothing really too much to speak of here. Pyro, just again, what did you like from JWU in that round? What do you think brought them that victory? What was different from the other couple of rounds? Because it hasn't really been going their way. So what changed?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say it right, because I feel as if I'm being really harsh. But I think the flashpoint, it got, what, 4 players? The last player was the one able to swing out and at least capture, or at least stop that jet from laying down a terror of lead in towards that A-main position. And from then, they just kind of snowballed their way forward. They kind of played in twos. There was the trades. There was the util coming out. We weren't dry peeking anymore. We seemed as if we kind of knew what was happening. So for JWU, like, let's not be dry peeking in towards main. Let's be using your Reyna layers. Let's be kind of sending things in to make people uncomfortable and push off of angles. Like, they've sent the Reyna layer in there, but who was there to peek off of that? You know what I mean? It's got to be things like that. Play for your picks. Try and find the places that you can extrapolate some sort of efficiency and kind of go from there.
First top shot will go astray from a vet, is watching down in that mid position. And if you're JW, you know this operator's here. You're going to try and at least get some ground back. That's going to be the lockdown, trying to force them into that flank. You see that Sova in the back of your screen. Taking this flank, looking for more. Bombs PC, though. He's the one on the flank, so only 1 kill for that Sova. Now they're in a problem for JW. Where do you go? So much utility now slowing you down. You want to go to B, but you know players are in mid waiting for you. This is tough.
This is where the going gets tough, and the tough could get going, because this could be all over. There's the crossfire. It gets really, really tough. There is going to be the orbital strike. Big invested. Ducks on Quack. Completely caught out there. Trying to move across now, but you've gave the option to the AWP. Just misses that shot. It's 2 versus 3. Decides to pick up the Vandal on this take on the site. But look at this. Everything's set up. A team ace to finish it out. And that has been an emphatic finish towards this.
Ooh. Well, I don't know if you can hear me, but I DC'd from the Discord server. So if you can hear me, I don't know if you can.
Can't hear you now. Can't hear you now.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, that was a great game from Assumption. Going up 2-0, winning that best-of-3 series. I'm back in the Discord. We're good. But yeah, Assumption definitely showing their dominance. Event. I don't know if he got the 30. I don't know if he got the 30-piece McNugget, but he was very close if he did. So yeah, and about a half and maybe a quarter, he was able to do that. Pure dominance. The Jet moving from the Neon over to this pick. Ascent was his homeland, was his dominating area, and he showed us why. So yeah, great stuff there from Assumption. Unfortunate for JWU playing with 2 substitutes, but definitely, there's always next week. Only week 1. Still plenty of time for them to get themselves situated and ready for the next weeks of play. Cairo, what did you like about that team?
I mean, there was so much. Honestly, I have to give massive congratulations to Assumption. Some of the play was really good. I mean, it seemed as if they should have been on maybe a higher league. I don't know. I can't remember where Navigators kind of lands when it comes to ranks and stuff like that. But in terms of team play and stuff like that, they seem like a well-drilled team, which I love. JWU, there's things to kind of work on there. Like, they don't seem like they're not the like iron bar yet. They're still quite raw in terms of how they look. So I think like there is stuff to work there, and they shouldn't get like brought down again. I mean, it's university. You get 4 years. I mean, you get 4 years in the UK. If it's 4 years in the US, I mean, the thing is though, what I'm trying to say is, people come and go. This team might be a new roster. They might be trying to build forward. So just kind of keep at it and kind of listen to maybe what was said on cast and kind of work on that.
Absolutely. Well, that will do it for us here for this first game. NAIT versus IWU is coming up next. But I want to say thank you to Kyra here for casting with me. Thank you to Storm, Warrior, and Caroline for pushing the buttons, making our lives very easy and fun. But regardless, thank you guys for watching this first game of NECC Valorant. It was the Navigators Northeast League. But we're going to go to a quick break before this next bit of games. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the NECC. Week 1 of Valorant continues. I'm Time Delight. Joined alongside me is Vincent, and today, Vincent, we have Northern Alberta Institute of Technology taking on Illinois Wesleyan University, the Titans varsity squad over there. How are you feeling about this matchup? Any introducing thoughts, just to really bring the series into focus?
I'll keep it a buck. Listen, we've had quite a few new teams over the last couple of seasons of NECC, and these are two of them that I have yet to see myself. Excited to jump in the Challengers division, Challengers Heartland. That's where we're going to be headed, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We got things prepped and ready, and particularly interested to see how these two teams shape up with the newest changes and everything. Finally, everything going into this. I think it's going to be fun. I haven't gotten to see a ton of Valorant with all of the new patches over the last few weeks, so.
A brief geography lesson for everybody who's from Northern Alberta or from Illinois Wesleyan. Northern Alberta is northern Canada, that is a province in Canada, and Illinois Wesleyan is about an hour and a half south of Chicago in the center of the United States. So now that you've figured out where each other are, you can find the circle. And Vincent, into this series, Challengers Division, you're looking at pretty good squads. Speaking of the squads, by the way, let's take a look at our lineups for today. We will start things off with Northern Alberta. It's Kiro, Ao, Hasty, Taken, and Yokai. I feel like playing Rainbow Six Siege with Yokai.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. Apparently, we've been told that this is not correct, though.
It's not right.
Okay, we've been lied to. I don't.
No, that is.
I have.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think that's right. So.
Some of it's right. Yokai is not.
Halfway there. Let's swap things over. Okay, let's move on. Moving
Yeah.
along. We'll try to figure it out once we get into the game. Hopefully these are right. We got Park, Funman, Hysteria, Echoic, and Phantom. Those are right. I'm looking at them. So
Yes.
they're absolutely right. We got a senior who's an undeclared major. Park, my friend.
What?
Figure it out. I don't know how that happened. I am praying for you. That's all I have to say. With that being said, let's.
Oh, hold up! No, that's the old information. Senior major is design, technology, and entrepreneurship. And apparently, an interesting fact is.
Can we get the cameras back?
In Fortnite. Yeah.
Can we get the cameras back?
Back in Fortnite.
I just. This is me right now. You know what? It's a troll kind of day. It's okay. It's fine. You know what? We're not even going to talk about, or even look at, rather, what maps. I will tell you what we're going to be taking a look at. It's Icebox, Ascent, and Pearl. I'm looking at the sheet. Surely this is correct. Excited if we get to see a Pearl TTL. What I am also not so excited for is the fact that we're starting out over towards Icebox. Listen, it's Ascent and it's collegiate. Like, that's to be expected. But Icebox just, let's just hope it goes fast.
Welcome to the frozen tundra. I suppose as soon as Icebox stops getting picked in collegiate, hell will freeze over instead of our screens. So that's about where we're at. Illinois Wesleyan will start on the defensive side. This is Northern Alberta's map selection. Some notable composition changes, I think, since the recent patches is you'll see more often than not double Sentinel here on Icebox, and Sentinel does not count Chamber. I know double Sentinel used to be all the rage back when Chamber was actually
TTL, I have a correction already for you, my friend.
Oh jeez.
You see, the problem is that Chamber was never a Sentinel. He was always a duelist
Thank you.
this point.
Thank you.
And he's just now finally become a Sentinel. So it was always double duelist, actually. Just
Thank you.
for the
Okay.
record. Sorry, had to put that in.
I had always called Chamber a, quote, pseudo-duelist since the game came out, and everybody told me, no, he's a Sentinel, he's a tripwire. No, he's not.
Yeah.
He was not a Sentinel.
He has a jet
Sorry,
dash,
now-
but it's better than everything, okay?
Yeah.
Select your
Anyway,
agent.
all of our molding aside, yes, you're absolutely right. We are going to tend to see the Sage come out, and yeah, since the adjustment to make Chamber no longer God tier must pick, it has been a little bit of some different ideas. Not necessarily a consistent theory across the board, and we are seeing some different ideas here on either side of the board. Got a bit of an extra Sentinel in that KJ. What are your thoughts? KJ feeling good?
I've always liked playing, or actually, I've liked casting KJ. I am bad at Killjoy when I play her. I am an initiator one trick, and every so often I happen to use Phoenix because I decided that I want to.
Fellow Breach enjoyer, I see.
I play Breach every so often, but my main one, or my main two, I suppose, are KO and Sova. But the conversation around a Killjoy is always a chaotic one, especially when you're starting on the attacking side. If you're starting on the attack, your opponents are not usually bringing you Killjoy, or you are not usually bringing you Killjoy, because you want to have more aggression in the first half, because you're definitely playing all 12 rounds in the first half. All in the second, you want to have full efficacy of your agent's kit for the most often.
Interesting way to think about it. You know, fair enough. One thing to note as well, defensively, you have that KO that you were talking about as well. So a little bit of double initiator versus the double sentinel. See which one is more effective as we move forward. Gonna have the early owl drone out here towards the B site for the attackers. And Northern Alberta, finding nobody home initially, will continue to move forward.
Poison orb emitting.
This aggression from Northern Alberta. If they don't see any aggression back, why wait? The call is to just go, and I like it. The problem is you may get caught with some utility. Kiro sitting inside of the poison orb will actually get that spike down without much damage taken other than the decay, of which has gone away, and you have full 5 versus 5 for a retake as Illinois Wesleyan Titans varsity squad wants to aggress. The problem is they have no real estate to work with and no visuals on anybody or on or around the site.
Yeah, tough to get back in without that, of course. It's time to go. Gotta get a move on. Nice placement of the initial utility there, but crazy. Nice shot. Being found. Phantom was alive for just a moment. Back and forth, and the rotation from middle is doing very well to apply that pressure. And that pressure ultimately going to be the end of the line for Illinois Wesleyan. Northern Alberta take the first round.
Fancy schmancy team ace as well. I like the flexibility from Northern Alberta. They decide originally to aggress onto the site all 5 players. But as soon as Illinois Wesleyan does not set up a flank, it does not apply pressure from anywhere that is not directly around default or the yellow box, Northern Alberta decide, let's go a different direction. You see the aggression towards mid as you noted. It worked out perfectly, forcing Illinois Wesleyan to turn their attention and flip their perspective. It obviously led to the downfall. Well put together by the attacking side of Northern Alberta. The Canadians taking strong and taking the pistol round. But of course, it's the attacking side of Icebox. It's kind of what's expected, so Illinois Wesleyan still have some wiggle room.
Northern Alberta doing some wiggling of their own, back over towards the B side specifically. Already set up the toxic screen, and the orb is there as well. Nobody's home to play defense to this site. Northern Alberta going to get the plant pretty much for free. So a rotation back in. Illinois Wesleyan pretty much in the same spot. TTL, they're doing it all over again. This time, though, at a massive disadvantage with just the pistols.
JWU setting in, this time just as you mentioned with lesser weaponry. If you didn't like their chances in the previous round, I don't think you're going to be too fond of them this time.
They didn't improve.
As it seems like Northern Alberta is, well, pretty hell-bent on taking this round, and understandably so. Toxic Screen will go up, just an obfuscating line of sight alongside the Poison Cloud, and when you combine that with the Nano Swarm on the spike, you probably lead it to a round win. That, in this case, is exactly what happens. It's just a matter of how much economic damage is done. The answer, it'll be a flawless round. The problem, 2 players still died to the spike. 3, as a matter of fact, as Hasty's the last one to fall. So, a flawless round with an asterisk, I suppose there.
And that asterisk, like, it's not just 12-point font. It's like 17-point font, you know what I mean? It's huge. Because it's fine if you have a couple players go down, especially in a gun round, but that would have been their bonus round. They had all the weapons already bought up, and so instead, they're either going to have to do what they're doing here, which is barely invest and get a sort of half bonus instead, or fully buy in. It's clear what the decision has been made here for Northern Alberta. Of course, that doesn't mean that they're just going to lose automatically, but it does make it so much harder to actually win off the back of it. The good news, though, TTL, they do have that lockdown. That is available.
You can thank the 4K in the previous round for that one. The reason the lockdown is indeed available for NAIT. Now, Illinois Wesleyan has played a fairly passive defensive side. I want to get your opinion on this because I know teams decide really one of two schools of thought. Number one, we hold the site, we play for aggression, and we really hold our ground. We play defense. Or number two, you play pseudo attack on the defensive side while giving up most of the site and playing for a full.
I think a good middle ground could definitely be had. Hysteria with an aggressive maneuver, and this is what I mean. Move forward, fall back in one area, and then push back up in order to retake that space temporarily. Crazy will at least find one in return, but this is not looking good for the attack of Northern Alberta.
On the far side does pick up a Phantom. This is certainly possible to hold down because the rotation is coming
30
through.
seconds left.
A spike plant more than likely at this point for Northern Alberta. The problem is Funman up above may be able to catch Brazy off guard. Swing nearly perfectly timed, but Brazy has not been seen. And the spike is planted safe with a fragment lineup missing from defensive spawn. That's your problem. Kiro, double headshot with a stinger from seemingly a quarter mile away. Still able to find the kill and bring it to a 3 versus 3. There's some information, but NAIT have taken back the man advantage.
Yeah, Ayo caught out just a little bit there. Crazy. Kiro, the upgrade. Kiro maybe going to be looking good, but Hysteria is fragging out of control in this round, and a quad kill for Hysteria. They're doing fantastic already. The duelist role for Illinois Wesleyan stamping their ticket for the first round.
That's a good way to come back as well. A hard-fought, while still eco-based retake, it was exactly what they needed. They deserved that round victory with or without better weaponry. And NAIT now at this point are going to buy up. As you mentioned, that was their bonus round. It did cost them a little bit more than I think they would have liked, considering 2 players died in Spike in the second round of play. But they're not too upset about it. They will, of course, be able to recuperate and still fully invest. On the other side, not so much. Park is stuck on probably an SMG and half shields. I don't know if Park actually bought a weapon.
I don't think Park realized that they didn't have a gun. That's...
No, Park is chilling on a classic and half shields in a full gun round.
Definitely have never done that. Never in my life.
No.
Not
especially when you alt tab. I've never alt tabbed in buy phase. I didn't buy.
That's not even bound on my keyboard. Don't ask the question, TTL. No, you don't have to bind it. It's just...
Wait, no. We need to cover that for a second. After this round of bare minimum, we're going to cover that.
All right. We'll come back to it. Back to B, though. Back to B, the plant. Oh, I don't think they got it. No.
Down, B.
Denied. Park doesn't have a gun, but who needs a gun? Just hit them with the utility. Fun man. Not quite able to do the damage anticipated, but there's still no plan. That wall didn't do it. Hysteria coming in, finding some success. Brazy couldn't get back around the yellow box there, and suddenly things have taken a turn, but only for a moment. Northern Alberta right back in this, and the res available.
This comes through, 4 versus 1. Echoic left alone does find a first onto AEO. That res makes their life significantly more difficult. Recon bolt around the corner, they want to swing on a Taken, and instead their life is taken from them. As NAIT will pick up after the lost bonus round, win our first rifle round, and establish a full...
I see what you did there. Let's go back. What did we need to discuss?
Oh, why do you not have Alt-Tab bound? What is that?
You don't bind Alt-Tab. It's just... It's a basic function of Windows. You don't bind it.
Oh.
Listen, it was but the IT guy in me, it was a joke. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay. I was like, wait,
yeah.
I thought you, like, didn't actually use Alt-Tab. Like, you had it disabled.
No.
Some people have the Windows key disabled, so...
That's true, but that's fair, because the Windows key can come for you, man. It's aggressive, alright?
That's fair.
3-1, though.
Park's been seen.
Well,
Park was seen.
Yeah, Parker's like, let's not do that. I was gonna say, Northern Alberta, though, nice done, right? They find the next round right after the bonus buy from Illinois Wesleyan. Like, yeah, big stuff. Really resets what Illinois Wesleyan were looking to do.
That Poison Cloud goes back up, but no extra snake bite available, so they will get that spike down. Pretty good setup again for Northern Alberta. This is the 3rd time they've done this, maybe 4th, if my memory serves correctly, but it's still consistency for them. And it's worked out, well, now 2 of 3, trying to make it 3 of 4 times. That Bladestorm from behind just walking in through mid. They want to fully set up this retake. The problem still is they haven't created enough real estate control towards main. Hysteria not being seen luckily enough by that recon bolt, but still needs to get aggressive. No opportunity to take a gamble shot. There's a Bladestorm, but it hits nothing but thin air. Park around the corner only finds one, an immediate trade is there, and there's just not enough time for the Titans varsity squad. Even with consolation kills, it's still the Canadians walking away with their 4th round victory.
Yeah, and they've really done a good job of just, I mean, yeah, it's the same consistent approach, but like, if Illinois Wesleyan are going to give them that space, why the hell not take it, you know?
Exactly.
It's like, okay, if y'all aren't going to play on the B site, we'll just walk in, and if you can't retake, well, then you're the one who has to figure out what's going wrong and how to deal with it. So, all of that, I think, a good sign for the likes of Northern Alberta. Now, got to keep in mind, this is their map pick, okay, you know, fair enough. You would expect them to be doing well here, but still, a very strong start, and it's showing no signs of stopping. They've got the Bladestorm up this round, alongside the Ultimates as well, and I think honestly, the fact that they've been willing to play these post plants makes it so much more effective for that Sova.
Hunter's Fury for both teams. The problem is having the Hunter's Fury on the defensive side may deny that spike plant without even allowing the attacking setup to even fruition. Shock darts being set up. Attempt at geometry. AO instead gets dropped and will have to start digging their own grave. 6 feet, by the way, is the advised amount for all of you mathematicians out there. And
is that advised? Who provides that advice? Is there like a I don't know, like a national service for that? You said the advice, so I'm fact checking here. I'm doing a diligence.
Catching me off guard, I don't have an answer for you.
No,
hold up, Park is just sitting top screens and hasn't been cleared. Hero will see them and then immediately find a kill. Looking for a second. The timing actually worked in our favor! But Echoic will take the kill back. 3v4, retake again, but the Hunter's Fury is still available for the defensive side. That may play into their favor in this post-plant. Phantom dying, maybe not so much.
Yeah, and Brazy staying up and alive keeps the possibility of that Bladestorm pretty significant. Gonna get some utility layered in here. Hasty specifically gonna be in trouble, sitting in the cold, and Echoic will take them out pretty quickly. Of course, Brazy's still alive, as mentioned. Even this even in a 2-on-2. Good rotation from Brazy. Gotta love what you're seeing. The 3rd kill at a quad possibility. 1v1. Just taking shot, tapping, looking around. And all of that time ticking off the spike. Northern Alberta potentially going to win it. And yeah, I don't think there is time.
Valiant effort from Hysteria. Just better setup and better time-based there for the attacking side. I feel like the man advantage helped them a little bit later, but Brazy really just throwing off Hysteria. Not allowing them to stick that spike or initiate that actual gunfight and engagement, instead just strafing, then swinging, and then tailwinding across, then hopping on the rope, jumping off of it with a shot to mask their drop. Seemingly every sound cue or visual cue hurt Hysteria in that round, and Brazy just baited it so well. Northern Alberta now really looking to take this by storm, and the problem they're going to run into is, well, a few. Number one, they're not on the B site. Number two, the ultimate they've decided to use that creates a lot of control for the defensive side is on the wrong site. And number three, they have a lesser weaponry. Not the greatest up against Northern Alberta.
Hey, TTL, they're going B.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Again?
No, the Hunter's Fury there. Listen, it's too bad.
Planted.
It's too bad it was kind of red. The plant was off just by a little bit, but Echoic does a good job adjusting. Still gets a kill out of it. And it is going to be a lockdown, though, for Northern Alberta. That's going to... Yeah, well, it is going to just keep them out. They can't start to attempt this retake until the lockdown is no more. And, of course... Wait, hold on a second. How exactly did 2 players get caught in this?
No. 3 players were caught by the knife, not the suppression, by the suppression, not the lockdown, and, well, it turns into a false sense of security there for Illinois Wesleyan. Hero, a casual 3K, 2 with a nano swarm, by the way. Utility frags for the first time in this game, other than the snake bite, I believe, all the way back. 3. Regardless, it's still a round win for Northern Alberta. I was caught out by that as well. I was like, wait, how in the world did 3 people just get caught in a lockdown? And then I saw 3 suppressed, and I was like, never mind.
Full debated. That's on me. Yeah, my bad. Just can't read, apparently. You know, they said that wasn't necessary. Clearly, I was lied to. One thing, though, that I did want to note is I do like the layering of that utility, right? You have the ultimate coming in from the Viper, and then, of course, the snake bites the nano swarms over the top of that. And it can be a really deadly combination if you're not looking out for it, because you just suddenly get hit with a nano swarm, and it only takes 1 tick because you're at 1 HP already.
It is wild to see how consistently utility can play as a factor for a post-plant or plant denial setup. And again, it was well prepped from Northern Alberta. They have a game plan, they are sticking to it, and it's working out well for them. They say in the engineering world, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Northern Alberta apparently have a fairly good engineering department.
That's
totally not looking at
interesting.
all of their majors right now.
They also
they at least
say
have a
that...
software engineer.
That's true.
So
they also say that in the farms of Georgia. So I don't know. Apparently, it's just kind of good advice all over the place. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Good idea. 6-1. This feels like it's flying by, doesn't it? Northern Alberta have really had the number of Illinois Wesleyan, and we just saw a timeout. So fair enough. Trying to adjust, and here's some adjustment right here. Take some mid control, try to aggress, find information early on. Of course, well, that isn't going to work if you go down, and Giro nearly serves up a helping of headshots right there.
Just trying to play around this barrier setup. An odd position for Kira to be in. I think they're kind of stuck. They've caught the best of timing ever. Phantom decides to walk down that ramp, and as soon as he does, Kira decides, oh, I'm going to walk away. And then, you'll never believe this, Vincent. Northern Alberta's going B again.
What? No. That's
on today's episode of Shocking Conclusions.
Yeah, for real. I mean, listen, and you might hear us being a little bit sarcastic and think, oh, why are they being so mean? Not mean. Listen, it's effective. It's just also funny. So, that said, Northern Alberta, I also love that they're just they're doing a little bait right here. They're giving Illinois Wesleyan the time to rotate back over to A if they want, and then they're going to re-hit the site. So they threw their utility, and then they waited, and then
Spike planted.
Had the plant for free because of all of the players who rotated off. Love to see those little mind games being played.
Sound usually works, and Illinois Wesleyan caught a little bit off guard, but still have that man advantage as they start to reinitiate. Null command used early by Phantom. They want to go quickly. That recon bolt, however, shot out of position. Flash around the corner, trying to swing, but Brazy drops Phantom. Looking for a second, won't be able to find it. A flurry of frags, but it's still a 2 versus 2. Phantom still on the ground. They want to try and stabilize that core, but Hysteria on the spike is actually dropped by Hasty. A follow-up as Hasty finds a double. It's taken the original fragger. It's the Brazil for Northern Alberta as they take a 7-1 lead.
Hold on a second. Are we applying Brazil to not Rocket League?
I do it in every game. I do it
every game? I've
game.
never heard this.
Okay.
You've introduced a new strategy. You want to explain to the people who are FPS fans what the heck Brazil is?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brazil, where Brazil, the country, in the World Cup in 2014, lost to Germany. You'll never believe it, in a 7-1 fashion. It has since been dubbed the Brazil, mostly used in the game of Rocket League. Now, I incorporate it in first-person shooters, because I can. Also, an update for you. The reason that 6 feet is the advisable number, the British Parliament wanted to try and cut away the Black Death back in the 1660s.
Yeah.
So they advised... Yeah, my bad. Back in the 1660s, they were like, yeah, 6 feet should do it, so that, you know, people don't influence living people.
That's actually smart. Good job on the British Parliament. Good call, probably. It's already a 5-on-4, unfortunately, for Illinois Wesleyan, though. They're not having a great time in this, and they're going to have to give up the site pretty much for free after going down early. And you know the crazy part about this? It's not even an A hit.
Oh, but there's a flank, though. All the way back towards attacking spawn. They walked out of B. And then Brazy just decides he doesn't want to deal with it. So finds a headshot on a park. And unfortunately, while Funman's going to walk all the way back towards site, or at least in that general vicinity, they may be flanked and walk straight forward. Taken will end up dropping them. And it's a 1v5. Ace clutch certainly a possibility, but a stinger and a dream, one that may very well soon end up a nightmare. That's exactly what happens. Second flawless round of the game for Northern Alberta as they make it 8.
Listen, TTL, I'm a man of faith, but I don't believe that you believe that 1v5 was possible with the stinger.
Okay. The definition of
believe it.
possible is a percentage of likelihood to happen. It was possible. It wasn't very probable, but it was possible.
You know what? That's fair. I'm gonna stop giving you grief. I've just been having a good time.
Me too.
What is not
Keep up.
such a good time is the scoreline for Illinois Wesleyan. It's one, not ideal, but I think Northern Alberta have really shown that their discipline, their willingness to play this slow approach, even though it's been one-dimensional, it's been fantastic. And even though that it hasn't necessarily had any problems, that doesn't mean it couldn't change. Look at how far up Phantom is playing right now. Of course, might be an issue with the lockdown.
Trying to find at least something. Does find one, looking for a second, but Hasty is able to readjust. Good communication there for the attacking side, at least negating some of the damage done, and resurrections for both sides. The Jets were the first to fall, and now will be the only resurrected, so from a 3v3 to a 4v4, the ultimates will cancel out one another, but this is a full-fledged flank. While 3 players were going to go towards B main, instead they decided rather mid towards the front side of B. The problem is it's so delayed. This is a lot of time off the clock. Hysteria has used that sound cue as well to try and bait out the rotation. Ayo has turned away at possibly the worst possible time, looking for a frag. Hysteria does find one, a follow-up possibility, but Funman on the front side looking to throw off that point of view. The problem, again, just not enough time. Northern Alberta will take control and advantage of it. Hero a double. Northern Alberta now up to 9.
I have a very important question for you, my friend.
Oh, hit.
All right, so Funman's Phantom there, I forget what it's called. The like basic one with like, you know, just polygons.
Okay.
What do you think of this? Are you a fan?
I am not as much into the Valorant skin atmosphere as I am Counter-Strike. So I like a lot of the Valorant skins because they're different compared to, you know, CSGO, which is just different paint on the same weapon. No
Right.
effects or anything. But I honestly like a lot of them. Owl Drone, by the way, will see Phantom. There's no way in hell they survive this, and they don't. Unfortunate aggression caught out by 5 players and pre-placed information. Not the greatest of starts to another round for Illinois Wesleyan. The Snakebite put down does negate some of that damage, and a follow-up from Funman there as well. But still a spike plant, still weapon disadvantages just the same.
A little bit of spam, never hurt nobody, and some good work with these sheriffs. Are making things maybe a little more possible than they would have otherwise been. Of course, as I say that, that's when pretty much it all falls apart. It's 1v3, now 2 remain. Hunter's Fury still online. Alberta, a shot available, but Taken will win it out. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, 1+1,
Last
something like
round.
They were
that.
both 2. What?
Wait, really? Oh my goodness. That's so funny. It's 10-1 though. Actually won this time. And from there, what do you do? Like if you're Illinois Wesleyan, I think you need to just forget about this map a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially if it gets any worse. And just think about the fact that this isn't your pick. It's fine. We're fine. It's all fine.
So there's pessimistic TTL, and then there's optimistic TTL. Optimistic TTL would say there's still a second half, 10-2 scorelines are certainly a possibility, but it's not the most likely thing, at least you want to give it a shot. Pessimistic TTL is going to say move on to Ascent. It is map 2, you probably have a better shot at winning that and prepping for that now than actually playing this map. I'm going to take the general middle road, where you don't want to harp too much on the outcome of this map, but you still want to make sure that you're prepped for the second. Brazy preps their Tailwind already, and immediately drops a Coax. Not the greatest of starts to the final round of a 10-1 half. Lockdown set up, and Viper's Pit and Bladestorm already prepared. No ultimates whatsoever for Illinois Wesleyan as they try and pick up their second round of the game, and Hysteria is already dead.
Is it just me, or has there been a boatload of these lockdowns? I feel like there's been one every couple of rounds. It's been very consistent to me.
Player
A yo
standing.
with a nice shot. And yes, I'm going to say it like that every single time because it's fun. Phantom going to go down, and yo will close things out with a 3K. So half number 1, I'd say a resounding success in the favor of Northern Alberta. feeling good, I would imagine, going into the second half of this one.
Big start as well for Northern Alberta. By the way, they are newbies to the NECC, so this is their first ever game they are playing in the NECC. Pretty good start.
So I was right, okay. I wasn't sure if they were new into this season or last season. There was so many new teams last season that I think I only missed like 1 week, and I still haven't called a game from every team in the NECC. It's amazing how much we're growing.
I casted 2 different games last season, and I still had like half the colleges between the 2 titles that I just hadn't seen. In all fairness, we casted Fisher like 5 times on Rainbow
That's
Six.
because Fisher.
But
Yeah, listen, Fisher are good. Okay, that's the reason.
don't say it out loud, because then Yali's gonna get like her head all inflated.
Yeah, I have some buds over there,
ordeal.
and they do have some egos, but it's sort of fair because they are.
Drive? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark?
Yeah. So that guy, the why not fellow.
Oh jeez. You guys learning to cast Rainbow Six?
Oh, that's pretty neat. We'll see if Northern Alberta can continue the success. This will be, go figure, a B hit.
Okay, the sides have not switched. Your eyes are playing tricks on you. Northern Alberta is actually still on the attacking side because it is another B hit, and Illinois Wesleyan still on the defense. I promise I'm actually destroying you, but it seems like that's exactly the case. Nice recon bolt, by the way. That landed on the crane and found 3 players. The shock dart should be able to do a decent bit of damage on the backside of yellow. It does just that, but Illinois Wesleyan still there for the frags. Damage out of weaponry better than out of utility, and Northern Alberta apparently get the memo with more frags now going their way. Phantom healed up, but the Frenzy is still taken out of contention. A 2v1 now for Funman. The Sage needs to start fragging. The problem is there's a whole barrier orb between them and the Spike. The aggression working around the Spike itself. Funman finds one. A second onto Hasty as their doppelganger will fall. Illinois Wesleyan win the second half pistol off a masterful clutch from the Sage.
Fantastic work, though. I will say, I gotta call it out. I gotta say it. Northern Alberta, they do one of those easy mistakes to make, but very unfortunate. It's because instead of taking that fight together, they go for the 1v1s. Once you get the half, you should be taking that fight as a 2v1 instead of a 1v1 and then another 1v1, giving a real opportunity over to Illinois Wesleyan. And big props for actually converting that for Funman.
Worked out for him. Crazy wants to just try and shut things out now. Sheriff in hand. 0 point lands, so does just a body shot. So Brazy will be able to make it out alive. Too much damage taken. And the full rotation is also coming in. There are 3 players already on the site. 1 towards mid, 1 towards that other side of mid, there for NAIT. But here comes Illinois Wesleyan. They're wasting no time with this aggression.
Not whatsoever. So, things not going as planned initially. Brazy with a nice shot, and that allows time for the utility to be layered in. The toxic screen putting up a bit of a wall in front of Illinois Wesleyan as they move forward. Phantom leading the charge, but at 24 HP, not so healthy anymore. And low HP for Echoic as well. Gives Taken a real opportunity, but blinded to set Phantom up for what may be an ace. Here, the low HP for Brazy. Just needs a headshot. Oh, and gets a freebie. Just the 1 shot required, and Brazy has it. Not even a force buy, but they get the victory anyway. Northern Alberta looking great as they win out on the second round.
That's a denied conversion round, and Illinois Wesleyan bought. You know, our Observer Carol's gonna hit tab when we go to the buy phase, and you're gonna see that there is no money for Illinois Wesleyan. They have to face 10 consecutive map points, and they don't even have money to buy in the first of them. It is going to be pistols and SMGs, and that is all she wrote for the Illinois squad. Northern Alberta, they didn't buy in the previous round. They have rifles across the board. You know, I'm no expert, nor statistical analysis, but most of the time, this should
Well,
be
give yourself a little
32,
credit.
right?
You're an expert. I'd consider you an expert.
Okay, well, as the expert, and one who likes to analyze statistics, Northern Alberta should be winning this. Illinois Wesleyan obviously still have a shot. I mean, we saw Northern Alberta win with less than Illinois Wesleyan in the previous round. I suppose there could be an Uno reverse card in the deck of Illinois Wesleyan, but
you got to top deck it, and that's the hard part, you know?
yeah.
Not always gonna hit him with the top deck. With that said, we're going back to B. I guess the strategy of A wasn't working out so well. We've seen it twice out of 14 rounds, so I guess as a man of statistics, you would probably say that's to be expected.
And back to A. Nice placement on a lot of utility. Shock Dart, Nanoswarm, and 2 Snake Bites, all in the exact same 10-meter radius. Just like that,
rough.
Illinois Wesleyan's off the site. That spike plant probably would have been their saving grace. Not the case, as Kiro will find one looking to spray through that wall. Not gonna happen. Spike will be planted, but with only 9 HP left over for Park, that may very well spell the end of this map. The drop as Kiro is flashed, but still finds the kill. Phantom no longer for this world, nor is Park, who's taken out of contention. It's Hysteria, a valiant effort, but it's an ace from Kiro, and Northern Alberta with a 13-2 victory on their own map pick. If that's a way to start off your NECC run, Northern Alberta have started to write the book, and it's already guaranteed by experts in the field.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was very well done. You can't really take anything away from them. They were only really giving up. I'll say they only really gave up like a single round. It was a huge clutch moment, and fair enough. Illinois Wesleyan taking advantage of that, but man, talk about a turnaround and a ridiculously good map number 1 and start to your NECC season.
Yeah, a pretty big start for Northern Alberta, but Illinois Wesleyan are still in this. We will head to the most played map in Valorant competitive play, that being Ascent as our second map of play. Illinois Wesleyan chose it. This is their opportunity to bring it back, where it's a 2-0 series and a fairly early end to our B stream. We'll see ya. Decisive first map victory for Northern Alberta in not only this week of play, but their whole career of the NECC is their first ever game. Puts a W in the win column. They'll take things with a grain of salt, however, as they're still the best of 3 to play. Sent up next, as our background assures us. I'm time to join beside Vincent, and Ascent needs to be a different story. Just not for Northern Alberta, more for Illinois Wesleyan.
My background? That's Harbor, not Ascent. What do you want about? Alrighty. Well, whilst TTL is taking a little bit of a break, we'll head over to the agent selection side of things. And, well, it's looking to me like... Oh, I hope Brazy goes for the Yoru. I will... Oh, I feel like we're getting all the troll, but I would love to see Yoru, unironically. It'd be a lot of fun. Phantom, on the other hand, blocking the Omen, and we're going to see that difference between the two controllers. I've been liking how Ascent has been going lately with the different ideas on what you want to see. The synergy between the Astra and the KJ is a lot of fun to watch. And so, as we get into it, any particular thoughts or ideas, TTL?
I have to say, I'm a little surprised that Phantom is not back on that KO. Instead, Park has taken it from them, and Phantom instead is going on to the Omen, which is an odd decision considering, again, Phantom played KO in the previous map. Sometimes you do have those role switches between maps on teams, just more often than not, that comfortability and consistency will play into your favor in the long term. Again, some teams have that. That is one thing I wanted to note. And I do think NAIT, with their composition, aren't clearly in front, but that level of comfortability that we saw in the previous map should lead to an assumption that they will perform at a similar standard. Now, Illinois Wesleyan may completely switch up. They may win both pistols, they may completely trounce NAIT. They need to pick things up early. If they drop back, similar to what we saw in Icebox, it's going to be pessimistic TTL.
Feels bad, man. We don't want pessimistic TTL. We want optimistic TTL. The glass half full guy. We want him. Feels good, man. But yeah, I'm sort of on the same page. To be fair, I'm being memeing it up just a little bit, but on the same page. I also think that. Listen, this is sort of like do or die. It's early in the season. I get it. All right, maybe I'm being a little over dramatic, but it's now. Like the time to go is now for Illinois Wesleyan. The Titans varsity gotta step up. Period. Of course, it's okay if things don't work out. It is early in the season. That's why you can have that sort of step up over the course of the season. Those are my favorite stories, by the way. I love to see a team that is struggling initially and then just improves over the course of time. That's so much fun to watch. But I'm looking for Illinois Wesleyan. They need to come out with a bit of a punch, right? They can't be passive. No dancing in the ring,
Hold up. I know you said this is week 1. You didn't get the memo that all championship games will be played on week 1 of the season?
Yeah, I missed that. That's on me. My bad. I must have missed that one.
The Discord ping went out on the 5th or 6th of Never, actually.
Oh, yeah, I was away that day. Mm-hmm. Too bad. We're going to get into it. Going to be the offense for Northern Alberta. Illinois Wesleyan get the better start. I mean, defensive side is preferable. Not by a ton, but preferable.
The big note is that Northern Alberta actually chose the attack. I think that's the impactful conversation here. They started an attack on Icebox, and they chose the attack here on Ascent. Brief conversation point as well. Assuming we go to Pearl, Northern Alberta will also play attack first there, but that, as of right now, is not the most likely to happen. Illinois Wesleyan trying to make it so, but they need a pistol round victory. They need a good start. And they are starting around this wine cellar side. Good flash, unfortunately, they just don't get the shots. Park domed inside the wine cellar. Paranoia as well put out. They try to find every single possibility for aggression. Phantom from behind gets the opportunity, but can't find a follow-up. And just like that, Hero with the final kill required over on the A site will turn it into a post plant and a 4v2.
Yeah, and I think Illinois Wesleyan, a good opening gambit to that round, but they stuck around just a little bit too long, allowing for Northern Alberta to really close them in, get that ability to crunch towards the A side up catwalk. So a slight miscalculation, but there's still a chance. 2-on-4.
Scanning ahead.
HP as well for the Jet. Recon Bolt, though, going to be destroyed. And hello, Nano Swarm. Just gonna kick it for a moment over there. Brazy's still alive and healthy despite that low HP and can pop out at the right time. Echo it with a nice shot. It's traded, and there's Brazy chiming in for a third. Brazy's been very consistent, TTL. Big fan of what I've been seeing from Brazy.
Northern Alberta as a whole have been consistent, and my favorite part of their playstyle is coordination. Every single time we see them set up a play, it is around multiple different people. For instance, in the previous round, they had the Owl drone come out of main, and you got the scan. Now, obviously, we saw the drop back. You saw Hysteria try and retreat, and obviously it didn't work, because NAIT had already aggressed up Catwalk. They had walked through tree and taken that control. While Phantom did find a single kill, it was immediately taken care of. They negated any damage done by the Omen, and again turned it into a round victory off of coordination with a combination of utility and a pincer maneuver established. And that may happen again. Nice 0 points thrown through by Park. It finds 2. Unfortunately, Hero finds 1. That, however, is a kill rather than a suppression.
Giro, the hero of the last map as well, led the way for the entire team. It's going to be that updraft dash combo. Phantom, the only one to really find much of anything there with, I mean, pistols, that's sort of to be expected. But it would just be the one individual left for Illinois Wesleyan. But man, looking to put the hurt on these Northern Alberta players. Fortunately, with a classic, not so great the chances Giro is going to collect a triple, and already has that lockdown, man. We've seen so many of those in that first map, and round 3, it's ready to go again.
Crazy with the setup as well. I'm gonna keep saying his name until he stops doing cool stuff. That
Fair.
time, you know the updraft dash on top of generator.
Yeah.
Everybody does it. Do you know the reason people do that? There's 2.
Well, I mean, obviously it's pretty tough to hit the dashing jet, but also it really pulls the attention of the rest of the team so that then you can walk in behind that dash and find easy frags.
So the 2 technical reasons are actually, the first is it draws your attention. It makes sure that you have to look at the jet. And if you don't and you continue to look elsewhere, that cloudburst only has 3 seconds of efficacy. As soon as that drops, jet then has line of sight, and you die from the exact same thing that you thought you shouldn't have looked at. And
Easy
you end
peasy
up
done.
losing. It's a double-edged sword. Nice flash, by the way. It lands in the market, but it is anti-flash by Park. Re-aggression from Echo. It finds 1, but there's the coordination back. Illinois Wesleyan with a 2-for-1 trade. They open things up fairly well. The problem is they've lost a little bit of control. Now only 1 player on A, the second now still rotating over. But NAIT, this is their bonus round. Keep that in mind. This is not a requisite win.
This is that was a good setup, though. I mean, that's something that was lacking back on Icebox. Those little, 2-man setup type of ideas. Phantom locking it down. Funman doing the same. It's just 1 man alive. And that is, to be fair, Creo, who's been doing a very good job. Gonna get served up a chance to take Syria, but a team ace instead. 13 HP remaining. Illinois Wesleyan, they're on the board.
They were on the board at the same point last game.
Okay, I wasn't going to mention that, but now that you have, you're right.
Well, they do have that consistency. They are not allowing bonus round victories. That's a positive note for them. And they do it in a fairly clean fashion. 1 man, second time's the charm. We'll try and throw it on the breach, the crevice.
The
crack?
The raised area. I don't know.
Well, whatever it is. It's still Illinois Wesleyan denying the bonus run. So at this point,
Whatever
it's
it
still
is,
weaponry.
There's utility there.
Yes, and Northern Alberta have decided to go A again. They are going 4 for 4 on this site selection. Some deja vu back to Icebox, where it was, what, 13 of 15 in the entire game? But it's utility used on that default plant spot. A fragment and a nano swarm, each find a kill. A follow-up is there from the Killjoy herself. And a 2v4, 2v5 actually. Illinois Wesleyan, a clear advantage.
Not the ideal situation, swinging with the
1 enemy
a
remaining.
weapon in hand. Funman will go for a third. Hero doing well to find 3 themselves.
Enemy remaining.
Even gets a 4th. The ace on the cards of potential, but no, wait, Hero knows. And then Echoic is rotating in, and it will indeed be denied. Illinois Wesleyan, for the first time this series, take 2 rounds in a row and start to build that eco.
Big start for them. I said they could not fall behind early. A 3-1 advantage for NAIT probably would have spelled that case, and they know it. So they take this round by storm. Now, in all fairness, only one player stayed alive at the end of it. It was Echoic. But the way they started was the round-changing start for them. And Northern Alberta just could not come back from it. As much as they tried, it was still a round loss. And nothing. Illinois Wesleyan now giving themselves a good jumping off point. The diving board has been sent to hop in the deep end. Just, they don't want to be sent to, I suppose if I'm going to go with the analogy, kiddie pool.
All set. We'll see what these blades have to offer us.
Hopefully there's no
Lockdown as
blades
well,
around the
to
kiddie
be fair. What's that?
Hopefully there's no blades around the kiddie pool.
That would be bad. Yeah, that's fair enough. Don't want that. But these blades, certainly deadly, but Mark has gone back into pizza. That is... Yeah, I was about to say very aggressive. That, because then you got to get out. And getting out is tough. Gonna get a bit of a reset on those blades, and from here, things are looking good because now you can utilize this lockdown. Funman has brought things back to an even scenario. Sure, the B site should be theirs up for grabs soon. No Hysteria with a nice shot. And Echoic in the back of the boathouse looking to be cleared out will finally be done. It's a 3-on-3 ensues, but there's still no time to even get this spike down.
Spike will be planted, but that turret already set up, and Funman over top will drop Hasty. Paranoia into a swing will drop Brazy as they couldn't see a dang thing, much less do a dang thing around them. And Illinois Wesleyan, again a well set up retake. Instead of completely collecting themselves as you'd usually expect from a defensive side trying to retake with a man advantage, they decide, we have an advantage, let's go. Let's not allow them to gather themselves. And Northern Alberta, their first time out in the NECC, used in VALORANT in their second map play, and this is also the first time they have ever been losing in the NECC. There's a first round.
This is where we get back to like the pessimistic TTL versus the optimistic TTL. I think I was going to go with the fact that this is the first winning position that Illinois Wesleyan have had. You see?
Well, this season, Illinois Wesleyan's played in seasons past.
Yeah,
But
this season. That's what I'm talking about.
NAIT have not.
I
So
see.
Illinois Wesleyan's been winning before in the NECC.
I'm going to accept your reasoning and just choose to ignore it.
That's fair. Yeah.
But listen, first time leading this series and the season, Illinois Wesleyan feeling good, and I'm feeling good for them. They look like a bit of a different team than they did back on Icebox. It's so clear to me, and this happens a lot in the collegiate space. I don't know if you've noticed it, but it's so clear to me, just Icebox is not a map that Illinois Wesleyan are super comfy on. They were playing, very passive, seemed to not be sure about some of the timings, didn't quite have an idea of where they, needed to be going for a fight on the site versus not. Here, not the case whatsoever. They're very comfy, and they've been doing incredibly well.
This is the comeback they needed, and a pretty good start to it. Illinois Wesleyan trying to set up more aggression outside of A main. I like this decision for them. Two different things. Number one, they still have 3 players around A, which is usually how I like to set things up. And number two, they're trying to create at least some space for themselves. A lot of times you'll see 3 players on A, one sits heaven, one sits tree, the other sits in like window or around the site itself. Instead they want to be proactive, and it's working out fairly well for them. Park, for instance, finds an opening kill, and Brazy early is taken care of. The MVP of the previous game already down early in this round, and a follow-up from Phantom to the smoke no less. Ayo is dropped. Is Hysteria? More like hysterical. How in the world did he pull that one off? Hasty's now left alone in a 1v5. Okay, 4 of those kills should not have happened.
Well, I think it all starts with a bit of a problem, right? Like, you can't begin that entire endeavor with Brazy making a big mistake, kind of preempts the owl drone. Instead, typically you're gonna have that owl drone come lead the way. I think Brazy moves forward there. Could have been attempting to try and catch a weird timing, but if that was the case, didn't work out. And if it wasn't, just this flat out mistake. And that's what really starts the ball rolling in the Illinois Wesleyan favor is, I mean, Phantom was ready.
Illinois Wesleyan again playing proactive. There are 5 players in or directly around mid for the Titans varsity squad. They've finally retreated, at least a little bit. But they all decided they wanted to go the exact same way. And I like the decision for them. There's also jump peeking from Park. There is a nebula of them, what they're trying to see. But Brazy does find some information there for NAIT. Good start, the flashbang, not so much. They will still go, however. They want to, and they honestly need to at this point. They have to throw them off, but Phantom finds 2 more kills through smoke. That's 4 in 2 rounds for the Omen. This is just gross. Hasty does at least negate some of the damage, but the spike's down, and it's a 2v4.
Player standing.
Not bad, to say the least. Taken, not even get that spike planted. It'll be Fun Man, who's really been stepping up as well. You mentioned Phantom. Yeah, fair enough. A couple of big kill moments, but Fun Man, take a look, leading the squad. 8 kills for Phantom, 9 for Fun Man, to 3 deaths there. 3 OKD, not bad, and nearing maximum money as well. Really, really impressive. Illinois Wesleyan taking a big step up, 5-2. I think it's just about time for Northern Alberta to take a step forward themselves. They've been a very consistent approach. Same thing we saw back on Icebox. They really haven't gone B except for that 1 round with the lockdown. This time, they're courting that idea, thinking about it a little bit more in depth and applying some pressure with the 0 point.
Killed my bot.
My question for NAIT is, how do you flex away from the setup that just has not been working? They've been trying to go A in basically every round other than 1. And it worked out fairly early, but it was pistol and conversion, and that's all she wrote. Flash out on this B side, but as soon as Taken only sees the turret, they back away. There was a lot of real estate they could have gained and just gave it up.
Fake. This is a great fake. I'm pretty sure, at least. You can see the spike postured over towards Catwalk with 2 additional players. And it's going to be an additional investment. The null command being used, and I mean, there's still 1 player here, and that's Phantom on Cat. Could be a key part of this, but they're walking. They're not making any audio cues until right this moment. The site seems free, open for business for Northern Alberta, and they'll get the spike down with all 5 surviving.
30 seconds left.
This is a quick re-engagement, though. Illinois Wesleyan are directly around the site. From the shadows used to get into main, but Phantom doesn't know about behind them. They're watching their back, but they turn away at the worst possible time. But Taken doesn't see him. It's still a kill there for the Omen, who uses the Shrouded Step to get the heck out of dodge. The lockdown is destroyed as the drop onto the site works out fairly well, but it's Brazy from hell. A double for them. The stabilization of the core turns into a 2 versus 2. Funman brings Park right back into the fray, but they discount Kiro on the backside of Generator, flexing themselves through the door and from the tree position, leaving Park alone after the stabilization, after the resurrection, at least pseudoly so. They're left alone. And there's no opportunity, no time, and no weapon available. Spike defuse denied, and Northern Alberta, when the dust settles, win their first round since the second round. What a way to come back.
Yo!
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I had to. It was so perfect. It was so perfect. Northern Alberta, though, big props. And Kuro especially doing a really good job getting involved there. But it actually was Ayo to do the big damage in that round, really being the sort of the crunch man in order to deny the drop towards hell and create that crossfire. So, big props. And are we gonna see an actual B hit? We saw a fake B hit. Actual B hit, potentially? No, spike 2 in the other direction.
You should run.
You just can't quit A.
No way. They're gonna try the full me one time. The problem is full A main control is there for Illinois Wesleyan. And NAIT has been seen. I think the spike has been as well. So even with the lockdown invest on the B site, there are still 3 players on A with a 4th and 5th. Now honestly, they could rotate fairly quickly. This is basically the round restarting. A whole lot of nothing has happened other than an ultimate used and a little bit of damage done. That's not a great start for Northern Alberta, but a smart flex from Illinois Wesleyan. They learned from the previous round, and this time instead of forcing themselves to retake in a 5v5, they just deny the original take.
Yeah, and I think that it really does go to show that Illinois Wesleyan playing a game where they're paying attention. Syria paying attention to the entry, and Hero thought, well, I could just walk in for free. Surely nobody will be paying attention to me. Not the case. Hysteria still there. The Blades doing well. A second frag to be had, and Brazy's down.
Round far from over, though. Tailwind out does keep him out of harm's way for the time being, but over-aggression from Taken, Funman aware of it and able to find the kill. Shock Dart misses, and Ayo in mid is able to find a frag. Hasty sitting in Boathouse, so the two players left over for NAIT are fairly far away from one another. Cosmic Divide is on the board, but Hasty tries to get out of Boathouse and does so fairly well, sitting inside of their own nebula on the site, but you can see Illinois Wesleyan all worried about main, and understandably so. Echoic able to shut down their counterpart, but outside of Boathouse, Hasty only able to do damage. Illinois Wesleyan able to target, prioritize, communicate, and turn another round in their favor as they double up NAIT 6-3.
Man, that's so unfortunate for Hasty as well. Had such a good read of the situation, does look very good, and then just waits a little bit too long, I think, to pull the trigger, to go for that actual play. With that said, on the board is Hasty, and Illinois Wesleyan still continuing the lead that they've been able to set up, and especially now that they've, served up Northern Alberta a bit of their own medicine from last map, where they win one round, and then they instantly get punished with a round loss. It's not a full reset of economy by any means, but it certainly doesn't feel good, and the Pistols are forced to come out because of it. Northern Alberta forced to work with little compared to what they could have had.
Shocker. Audio cue of the Ultimate Orb, obviously, leading to the advantage setup there. Always a
chalk dort.
What?
Don't worry about it.
I feel like this is an inside joke with you and Los.
A little bit. It's okay. I'm sorry.
Left out.
I should. Yeah, that's on me.
Cries tears
Hysteria,
of being left out.
Listen, Hysteria's not leaving anybody out. The op could be. You could die to the op. Anybody's there. It's fine. He'll take all comers.
NAIT decide they want to go on towards A once more. Park worried about that jet dash in, not on top of the generator this time, but still able to turn their attention at the correct time. And the aggression works out in their favor. Park a casual 3K. And Illinois Wesleyan a flawless 7th round victory, guaranteeing themselves a halftime victory. And doing so in style, no less. Well done from Park and the Insight.
Yeah, everybody's kind of had one of those moments this map for Illinois Wesleyan to kind of shine a bit, show us what they really have to offer. It was clear that they just didn't quite get fully warmed up on map number 1, and now they're really stepping on that gas. One thing to note, though, and I hate to be that guy, TTL, but listen, I have to be that guy sometimes.
I'm usually that
Taken
guy.
and Hasty are kind of dropping the ball a little bit. I love them, but I think it's about time they got to step up, especially if Northern Alberta are going to be able to bring this to more of a 7-5 type of scoreline.
Hey, I'm usually that guy, so it's a breath of fresh air.
I'll do the dirty work. Don't
You want to find it?
Shock Dart set up again. This time does not catch the Ultimate Orb. Taken still does and takes a decent bit of damage. The problem is they just have not cleared this top side. No information gained off the back of it. Funman finds one. Echoic a second from the Boathouse. He's able to shoot out the recon bolt as well. There's so much utility now being put through. Echoic still able to find a kill off the back of it. Switches to a classic and is still able to live. What in the world is going on in the back of the B site? Boathouse finally taken. But the risk of a lot of HP, Hasty's below 50, and the spike will finally be planted. Ayo, decent bit of damage taken as they plant towards the corner default spot. Hysteria also creating room on the site itself, but Ayo stuck in Ninja and shut out once more. Northern Alberta cannot create enough space around that spot. And Illinois Wesleyan win another. They are not stopping.
On a roll. Pearl seeming
Last
maybe a
round
little bit
before
more
the switch.
plausible at this point. Operator regathered. And we even got a bit of an Odin out here for Funman. There was a double op there for a second. Did you catch that?
I did. Luckily,
Yeah.
a cell feature is available.
Yeah, I know, right? Would be a tragedy to pick that up. It is last round, though, to be fair. So, if
Wait,
there were
hold
a
up.
time.
Wait, I have a question for you. I do this
Yeah.
every so often, where even if my teammate has an op, I buy an op, and I also leave a Vandal on the ground. And then if like the op doesn't work, I grab the Vandal because it's last round. Am I weird for that, or is that a normal thing?
No. Big brain. Big brain TTL. This is exactly what we want to see.
Very few opportunities to be big brains, so I figured I'd take them where they stand.
Gotta take them where they stand. Ooh, the blades just a little bit off, and the paranoia is perfect to stall out this push for a moment. Phantom, more opportunities that shot through that smoke, not quite connecting this time out. Wow. But the blow, that Hunter's Fury does a pretty massive amount of damage. 2-3 different players get hit by it, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, and they have to clear out A main still. They haven't worried about this Mine Cellar position. They fully clear out the cubby, but Asteria, a double from that same spot. It was a previously held real estate that costs Northern Alberta, and Asteria, a casual 3K, leaves Hasty in hell. And they're gone. Immediately taken care of. Nothing Hasty could have done. Illinois Wesleyan, a 9-3 half. A flawless victory in a round once more.
Switching sides.
And a close-up of Jet's face. I feel like a mind meme, but with Jet.
Yeah.
No rounds,
point.
question mark?
Yeah. Where are your rounds? Where did they go? They left them back on Icebox, that's what. I love how we're just adopting the trash talk that we think Illinois Wesleyan would be doing, providing to Northern Alberta. Like, they're not even trash talking, we're just on their behalf going for it. It's great. 9-3, a great turnaround. Love to see that from Illinois Wesleyan. I think that this should be easy enough to close if they continue to play as well as they have been. Look at the consistency in that frag distribution as well. Echoic and Park down at 9, but the highest is 13. Just 4 between the entirety of the squad.
It's not a large range by any means. Illinois Wesleyan trying to close things out quickly. The problem is they've walked into a whole lot of utility and even more firepower. As 2 players already fall, they haven't even got the spike down, and I don't think they will. Funman will try to initiate it. There will be aggression coming back with only 22 HP. Funman, not very long for this world, does find a Constellation headshot, but is left on a 1v5 and won't even be able to detonate their Nanoswarm, much less find a kill off the back of the round. Flawless pistol round for Northern Alberta. If they are able to come back, this is a way to do it.
Fantastic start for Northern Alberta. Gotta agree. I have more important questions, though.
Oh, jeez.
Do you detonate a Nanoswarm, or do you activate a Nanoswarm? Or something else? I
feel like it's a combination of the two. Because to activate a Nanoswarm would just be for the entire radius of the Nanoswarm's efficacy to already be occupied. But that's not the case. The Nanoswarm detonates, or you activate the Nanoswarm to detonate. And then it creates a larger area of effect. I feel like it's a combination.
Right, I'm really going to need a lore video on this. It's very important. Very important information.
Well, like if you had a grenade down, right? If you activate the grenade, it just sits there. But if you detonate the grenade, it disperses.
Okay, so I hate to be that guy, but that's just not how grenades work. You pull the pin and then it's activated.
Shush.
Right. Okay, I'll stop.
Vincent's a
because
hater.
Brazy's
Good.
continuing. Yeah, okay. I was trying to get there, but I was a little slow on the uptake. 5-9. Nicely done, Brazy. Classic situation there with the Sheriff in hand. We saw Brazy do some of that that right at the back end of last map. Good to see Brazy stepping up once again into that role. And 2 rounds down here for Northern Alberta. That's the most that they've found in a row for this entire map. So they've equalized that. Now maybe they can get a third.
This is a full bonus run for them as well. I saw an operator hovered, and then it was sold, and then instead they decided on an Ares. What's Illinois Wesleyan to do? That's their question. Seemingly A is their play. The problem is they have no real estate control anywhere else other than A main. And this is their gun round. They're tunneling themselves for an opportunity for Northern Alberta to come back from this. And with all the real estate taken, Northern Alberta know it's A. There are already 2 players on the site. All of mid is currently occupied. They've taken a little bit of site control, but that's about all she wrote. Hysteria does find one into AEO, but they need to clear out Hell. They seemingly are aware of it, they just haven't done the damage yet. And Hasty still finds the kill.
Yeah, big win there. He's getting the 1, but of course, you need a double kill somewhere in this mix, and there's just 2 remaining. Now just the 1, and it will have to be Brazy. That's going to be a possibility, trying to dodge around with this Spectre in hand. And a crossfire set up. Ooh, great work. Just Begging the question. There's the shots. Creating a 1v1, and it was darn close, I tell ya. As Brazy can't quite connect the dots. 10-5. Illinois Wesleyan still doubling up on the rounds of Northern Alberta.
You know, I have to say, the 9-3 curse is all written up to be this whole fable about superstitious players. But
humbug.
It is an understandable analysis. You go 2-1 when pistol round and conversion round go one way, bonus goes the other. A few rifle rounds off the back of that original trade, and you have another round traded. At the end of the day, it's not this superstitious thing. And NAIT, I think, are aware of that. They're not discouraged by any means, especially after that first map outcome. Hysteria decides to hold W, and I'd assume Q, considering they tailwind through the tree. And Illinois Wesleyan have just taken the site and made it a 5v3. Never mind.
Never mind. It's a 3v3. Don't worry. Your counting is just wrong, apparently. Is blink and you miss. It's now 3-on-3. Low HP as well for this Jet. AC already connecting one shot. He's got there another one there. Park at least going to trade things back with this operator and 5 HP. It's tough. And now just the one. A missed shot.
No
and Kiro
way.
has it. Another 3K there for this Killjoy. Wow.
You know, pessimistic TTL would say that was a poorly set up 5v3. They gave away everything, but the reality of the situation is Illinois Wesleyan did nothing wrong in that round. They took good control, and they played around their aggression. Hysteria took tree, unfortunately was sent away later on, even picked up an operator for their troubles. But NAIT played around one another. The buddy system is not just something that you employ in real life to try and keep yourself safe out in public. Sometimes it's for first-person shooters as well, and it worked out perfectly for Northern Alberta. They took tree, they then dominated the site, and then established control around main, forcing out 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 1s in their favor every time. Crazy caught off, maybe thrown off here, and is. Fun man the opener. Poor start for Northern Alberta after what was a seemingly amazing finish to the previous round.
I have questions for Brazy, and they're not nice ones, so we'll leave them alone. Taken. Nice shot. Nice shot. It's hard to sometimes catch that. Ooh,
Take flight.
I don't know how Funman found Kiro there. What a great find that was. Still, somehow, someway, Northern Alberta have made this into a 3-on-2 in the favor of themselves. There's the no commando. Illinois Wesleyan. You want to pull that out. The problem is the positioning, and it seems to be very clear that the knowledge is there. It's 2-on-1 now, and Phantom has just half health. Taken. This is going to be a 1v1 though.
Remaining.
Big victory, 9 health. Just going to use the Shrouded Step to get away for the time being. And that will be Ayo collecting the final frag. A little dicey, not the cleanest, but Northern Alberta, they do win the round.
Another good retake off the back of that as well from Northern Alberta. Credit where credit is due. AO dominated with the Odin. Mouse One is a
And that
keybind
recon
they're
bolt.
all too
Don't
familiar
forget
with.
the recon bolt.
Well, I think the combination of the two, that's what's dangerous for Illinois Wesleyan. Because a lot of times you want to be able to shoot the recon bolt off. But let's say you focus on the recon bolt. Problem is, somebody may just swing out of the smoke that you were watching, and you have that false sense of security. Smokes are not walls, people.
Or just sit in the smoke and shoot through it.
I've seen that a couple times today. Notably in my solo team earlier, it worked out inordinate.
Yeah, they were on the other team, weren't they?
No, actually, they were on the other team. It just did not work. Sorry. Shorty plus smoke, not the greatest up against SMG.
Look at this change of pace. Illinois Wesleyan very quick onto the site, looking to deny the plant. Phantom might pay for it with their life, and they will, but the spike does go down. So, worth? I don't know. We'll see how it goes. The lockdown confirmed, as well as the Blade Storm, and there's nothing to answer it from Illinois Wesleyan.
Oh, Brazy was on the flank but made a sound cue. They knew about Brazy. The problem is there's no utility left over to deny this spike defuse. They do not contain anybody inside of the lockdown, and a proactive swing from Kiro, so well timed off of sound cues, baited in with that spike tap and sent to the grave, courtesy of Kiro's Spectre. Upgrades, upgrades, upgrades for Northern Alberta. Rounds, weapons, and opportunities. Combine that with their economy. They're in a pretty commanding spot, even though they're 2 rounds behind.
Is that a robots reference?
Upgrades people upgrades? I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Upgrades people
Just making sure. Big fan.
Yes, robots.
Big fun. Northern Alberta feeling good. And especially now walking into an anti-eco round. Just a marshal, a couple of upgraded sheriffs. I think we saw a stinger. A real inside joke would be that this is great sniper. One of the best. The stinger.
I mean, it was before the patch. It actually
No,
was
still
kind
is.
of nuts from long distance.
Dude, listen, you just ADS and burst, and it's just goaded. Alright?
So I can't
I'm
tell if you're
telling
screwing
you.
with me or not, because that never works for me.
I'm not screwing with you. It's, I mean, I am a little bit, but it's actually pretty good.
There have been worse weapons to use from 20 plus meters, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Classic, surprisingly, is not on that list. 0 Point will find 2 players? No, surprisingly didn't find Funman or Economic. And Illinois Wesleyan, no real cue as to where they are. They're trying to initiate onto B. The problem is, Hero's already there, and rifle.
Yeah. And then pulls out the utility as well. The nanoswarms make it tough to find any sort of follow-up if you're Hysteria. 30 seconds
left.
TTL, they gotta go. It's time.
They have a lagging Omen, who anytime they try to teleport, actually fakes the fact that they're teleporting to spawn on the map. That one, again, tries it, will go up towards Catwalk and then die. It was an attempted fake onto B, honestly fairly well set up, and worth for considering it was an eco round. It just did not work. And Funman now caught between a rock, a hard place, and tile flooring. The flawless round for Northern Alberta.
That's gotta be
And Illinois Wesleyan a little indecisive in that round.
gotta be painful.
Northern
to be
Alberta.
stuck between those 3 things.
Yeah. I mean, you have one condensing you and the other one just difficult to stand on because sound cues exist. Not the greatest.
So that was the eco round, right? Like, you know, you don't expect too much of your Illinois Wesleyan, but this is the round. Like, they're about to tie. Remember the score at the half? Like, it was 9-3. I think this happening. It might be happening. Somebody help.
Well, this is one way to deny that. Lockdown will be used. Recon Bolt already set up, and AO is in a fairly good position. You want to try and use the Recon Bolt to not allow them to push forward, but they've learned on this attacking side, and AO's caught inside of it because of the fragment. Hero's still able to find a kill off the back of it, so limited damage, especially considering they were not able to convert a kill onto AO. Hasty not so lucky, as they are taken care of. A 4v4 post plant as Illinois Wesleyan need to hold.
The null command is available, though. Northern Alberta gonna have pretty significant utility, but if this actually hits, yeah, can't use the null command if you're also suppressed. And Funman with the connection, there's 2 players inside a main. They pop out. Could be a perfect time. AO suppressing fire, but it is not successful to find either of those shots. Phantom connecting, and the lockdown denied. Just taken. He was out of luck. 11-9, Illinois Wesleyan finally respond after 4 very long rounds going the way of Northern Alberta.
You have to appreciate the post plant setup there from Illinois Wesleyan. 2 different crossfires in 2 very different positions. Of course, you saw Funman and Echoic just chilling right next to each other inside a main. That basically created the round finisher itself. Hero, by the way, haven't really noted this, is on 24 kills. Just casually killing everybody, and...
Yeah, just doing the same thing they did back on Icebox.
I mean, he's as cracked as he is jacked, and I saw him at a 7-Eleven the other day buying adult diapers and whey protein powder, so...
Something like that. We'll leave it there. Ayo, with a nice shot. Big connection. And that's the way to start things out if you're Northern Alberta. Of course, Illinois Wesleyan, they like that B site. They felt good about it. Unfortunately for them, AO connects a few more shots, and it's suddenly a 2-on-4. TTL, not a good look.
AO on for a possible ace as well, should their team give them the opportunity. A dark cover will make it more likely, considering the rest of the team actually cannot see on towards the site itself. Nanoswarm set up towards market, that should allow a cross. Taken setting up a flash for a possible swing from AO, who has, I believe, shot out that Nanoswarm. You can see, everybody's surrounding the site. Recon Bolt on top, will find one. The spray through does a decent bit of damage, but nothing lethal, and Hasty denies the ace, but inconsequential kill, to say the very least. Phantom caught between, well, 3 different post-plant re-engagements from NAIT, who will find double digits here on Ascent.
Not only that, but they're setting themselves up for this comeback to be a real significant possibility. Remember when I talked about, you know, the whole win around, then lose around situation? Yeah, that just happened, and it doesn't feel good for Illinois Wesleyan varsity. We'll take a timeout. And that does beg the question, why haven't they taken a timeout yet? But I think it's probably good that they saved it, all things considered, because this is definitely the time they need it.
Now, what's your opinion on the current situation for Illinois Wesleyan, Coach Vincent? Because you're winning by a round.
Win, forehead.
Honestly, based. Yeah.
Sorry, that's just not very
Well, hold
nice.
up. Wait, my email's blowing up. Offers are rolling in from Tier 1 teams across the country.
My agent TTL, sign me up. Get me involved. I'm there. Sentinels, I'm there. Don't worry.
Well, in all seriousness, Illinois Wesleyan aren't in a terrible position, but aren't in the greatest of them either. Obviously, as the scoreboard indicates, they're winning by a round. But as, well, the other scoreboard will indicate in a few seconds, their money isn't the greatest. They'll certainly be able to buy, sure, but it's not the most healthy of purchases, and even if they do, they're not set in the greatest position for the next couple rounds, of which there's only 3 remaining. On the other side of that, Northern Alberta are able to buy here, they're probably able to buy the next, and should they lose both, well, they've already lost the game, so it's kind of inconsequential.
Yeah, I mean, Northern Alberta effectively buying the rest of the game no matter how it goes. Illinois Wesleyan, their approach to this round is a bit of a half investment, which I think is valid. You want to make sure that you have the big investment in the tied 11-11 round, though they've purchased themselves up enough to give them a chance. You know, just a shot, but we'll see how that goes. All things considered, it has been just a good half from Northern Alberta. As you mentioned, in a couple of those retake situations, Northern Alberta just looking really good. Their coordination was solid. And we'll have to see if they can continue to do that. Illinois Wesleyan had consistently been able to get onto the sites. The big question mark here. It's a bit of a default. Start this round out. 2 towards mid, 2 towards A, and a 1 towards B.
A lot of damage onto AEO as well, who is being set up for a bait. The problem is, look at A. There are 2 players with a fairly staunch crossfire. You can see Ninja occupy, the flash around the corner, there's the re-engagement, but a double headshot to the face of Taken will open up the site. Illinois Wesleyan sparse by, gives them an opportunity and a couple guns to work with. Kiro, not taking no for an answer, a double from heaven, looking for more, will drop down, but it's actually taken out. Over-aggression possibly costing them. Hysteria from behind even finds a kill as well, and Brazy's left alone. An operator in hand is able to updraft around the corner, but still needs to re-engage, and the problem is they have an operator up against rifles in a 1v2.
He's going to go get this rifle, I think, or at least try to find one. No, there's not actually one up here. I thought there might have been. Time's already ticking. This is getting to be a problem, and a missed shot. Brazy's going to run away. This is 12. Illinois Wesleyan have pulled off the impossible on a buy that really wasn't meant to be anything more than a bit of an investment. They come away victorious.
Match point.
I have to say, I'm a little shocked about NAIT's approach to the round, and I think they are too, considering that timeout call. Hero, I was talking about a little bit of over-aggression. I appreciate the notion of, oh, I just found 2 players on and directly around the site. The rest should be around tree, or anywhere else, maybe even sitting under heaven. But the problem is, a lack of information and a lack of refragability is probably what costs NAIT in that round. Because if Hero waits for the re-engagement from that tree position, they are probably able to clear out Generator, because there would have been a re-engagement around the tree door, courtesy of Phantom, who wouldn't have been watching Heaven any longer. and NAIT would have been able to find refrag kills in order to win the round. Illinois Wesleyan instead decide to back away, take a second, and then re-engage as a squad, and that's what ended up giving them the round. NAIT up against Map Point. Pearl, more than likely now.
Yeah, overtime required for Northern Alberta to send us to that. We'll see how things go. As mentioned, they are buying for the rest of the game, so the fact that they have full weaponry, not surprising, even the operator, Brazy. Both teams working with 2 ultimates to start, but it's actually much worse than that for Northern Alberta. As Illinois Wesleyan have the other 3 players just 1 orb or frag away from a ultimate of their own, so potentially gonna get to see 5 ultimates from that team here. Change of pace. Here we go. Straight forward onto the A site. The blades pulled, but they're denied. A hasty retreat being called. As Brazy steps out, steps in to an operator shot. Nice work to create the man advantage for NAIT on the retake.
Retake is fairly well set up as well. That recon bolt finds all 3 players directly around the site, and that's enough information for Kiro to know, and now to go. The Owl drone sees Echoic sitting around Triple, who is forced away. A shock dart does a decent bit of damage, but not enough to write home about, and there's that jump around the corner. This time it works out for Kiro, but only finding 1. But Funman having to look 2 ways at the exact same time, to say the very least, it's an impossibility taken care of from behind, as AEO is able to turn it into an 11th round victory. And all of regulation is required here on Ascent to decide whether we're going to OT or we're going to Pearl.
So the investment there, pretty significant, you know, couple of ultimates. Didn't get value out of either of them. It does leave 2 big heavy hitters when it comes to Illinois Wesleyan. Gnome Command and, of course, the Hunter's Fury. I mean, I don't want to say that Phantom can't find usage out of the ultimate here, but listen, it's hard. The From the Shadows not great.
Real usage of the null command. This is what they need to get out of the site, and I think they're going to give it to them. NIAT are playing for a retake. Lockdown's available, as is that Hunter's Fury, but the big note, Illinois Wesleyan also have their own Hunter's Fury available. Here's the defensive setup. Instead, it's a trade of the 2. They will try and trade them out, but it's a bait, a full bait. The lockdown now used. Trouble brewing for the attacking side, and Hasty gets a kill through hell.
The push, they have to go here, but it just allows Breezy free reign, taking shots left and right. Just 1 more bullet in the chamber, but that might not be a problem because they're locked out of this area. Gotta swap over. The defuse not continuing, Hasty waiting, and it will be there. 12-12, we're headed to OT.
Switching sides.
All of regulation required, and now even some extra innings here on Ascent. Illinois Wesleyan putting up a very good fight, but an odd trade of ultimates. I'll give you a play-by-play, or a chronological run of how they came out, because it looked like an Overwatch engagement in that fight. First off, Hunter's Fury was used for NAIT to try and deny the spike plan. Then Illinois Wesleyan was like, oh, we know exactly where he is, let's try and use our own to kill him. But then NAIT was like, well, they just used their Hunter's Fury, let's use our lockdown, because there's no immediate counter for it, and basically turned it into a round win because Illinois Wesleyan knew they had to try and take out the lockdown. The problem is they didn't look towards the backside of a tree, aka catwalk, and they lost the round because of it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Great breakdown, and it's one of those things where if you're Illinois Wesleyan, you just have to be cognizant of that fact. You cannot, you need to walk into that round thinking, I'm using my Hunter's Fury to deny the lockdown, period. There's no other reason to use it other than, you know, deny the spike defuse. So, bit of a mistake, blunder, you could say. Northern Alberta with a chance now to win this in 2. Instead, Illinois Wesleyan closing it out and heading us straight towards Pearl. Gotta pick up, if you're not familiar, you're just joining us. Just a couple of rounds in a row. That's all that's required. 1 on the defense, 1 on the offense. So beauty and simplicity here for Valorant.
Superstitious people will also rise up as the 9-3 curses actually come through. Taken sets up the flash as it goes up and over. Problem is, they've used all this utility to find absolutely nobody on the site. Illinois Wesleyan decided to give it up, and instead, play for a retake. Advisable, considering there were only 2 players around the site. The problem for NAIT, they have a severe lack of utility for this re-engagement.
You know what, though? If I'm in AIT, I'm probably okay with this. Hey, yo.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
did a little sidestep. Little do-si-do. And hey, yo, finding the connection. Big step up. Brazy needs to find it. Blind it. No problem. Still has the shot. And now it's a 4-on-3.
All 3 players are sitting inside of main as well. All 4, as a matter of fact. Recomboed around the corner. The dark cover didn't find all the engagement because of it. It's a free spray down and a team ace just to add insult to injury. NAIT will go on to what was the favored defensive side with a big lead, match and series point, to take their first ever series in the NECC.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like I need to sing some more Kiro praises. We've really maybe done a little disservice to them by not, you know, talking as much about them. But, man, they set the bar so high on Icebox. I just feel like it's been sort of the expectation and slowly but surely been continuing to do that. Had a great first half here, has continued into a great second half. I think 17 frags on the first, and of course 29 now. Beautiful stuff and nice work. Mid control was on the cards. It was the idea for Northern Alberta, but they're not going to find it in AO. At the very least, keeping things reasonable.
AO's just going to get aggressive straight through this Nebula. Will he be able to find one? Looking for a second. But Phantom now aware of it. A 2 versus 3 with AO able to find that kill. And Kiro's looking to re-engage. Will jump up onto the catwalk and just wait for the re-engagement. But Phantom, inside of main, looks to swing, will be the first one to fall. A follow-up onto the Hysteria. It's Kiro alone. The clutch potential certainly there. The problem, the spike is running away. Running for the hills. Both players now looking to go in the exact same direction. Kiro thinking that Park has cut sound and is coming back. We can see that's not the case. And Kiro, now seemingly knows it, will eventually go to A, but probably after the spike's plan.
Yeah, but who do you want in this situation? It's got to be Kiro. It's 1v3. This is the conclusion of. And for the win as well. Already at 31 frags. Just needs a 32nd to win them this game. Not a lot to work with. Utility-wise, just the bot that just came back into fruition, of course, can be used as a sort of forward momentum. We'll see.
Thank you. Hero, around the backside of the generator. Triples occupied. And that may end up being the round victory. Just to send it to a second OT. Kiro aware of the possibility of an off-site presence, but Park just decided to camp out and played for timing, sound cues, and unfortunately, an incorrect guess there for Kiro, as Illinois Wesleyan sent it to a second overtime. And the frag out from Park puts him on 18 and Illinois Wesleyan on 13.
Yeah, we do it all again. Give her another go. Northern Alberta back on the attack, and we'll see what they have to offer. Listen, the reality is that they had some of their best chances to win already. If they were able to close this out here and now, I'll be incredibly impressed, as Illinois Wesleyan seems to be heating up, but AO doing some similar heating up here. Late into this game has really flourished.
Hasty, through mid, is trying to re-engage, and NIT have already gained basically all of that real estate, at least as far back as Pizza is concerned. And they control most of the map at this point. All of B main, all of A main, the entirety of mid is not occupied by Illinois Wesleyan, who have fallen back to just the sites. And Phantom may be caught out with timing and is, oh my goodness, what may happen here? B site being collapsed upon by NAIT, and they're walking out of main as soon as they look away. Market, seemingly Echoic has just seen it, but not fully aware. They're watching across for the turtle play from Kiro, which we can see they may not know. Echoic has been cleared out of position. Phantom still finds the kill onto Kiro. 4v4 as it stands.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been a crazy situation of timing after timing going on here, Park. Trying to move forward. Ayo, though, from the side, connects onto 2. And the plant will go down. Phantom trying to work their way back in and has the help of Funman. But Ayo has the read, and Ayo could be on for the ace and will do just that. I said he's been heating up, and he now flourishes once again. The ace in a must-win round for NAIT.
There's only one thing to say. Ayo! He takes the ace and starts to take some of the kills in his own favor as well. Went from 22 to 27 in that round, matching at least almost Kiro from their previous round's heroics. And Illinois Wesleyan again, up against match and series point. Northern Alberta looking again to take their first series in the NECC ever, much less in this season.
Can always be good to get a strong start. Phantom looking for that strong start. It's not given to him. Suppressed as well. Follow up. Only Wesleyan taking space and catwalk crunch towards A, where the site is occupied.
Trade is there, but Crazy only goes 1 for 2. Unfortunate trade for NAIT, who again are looking to close out this map, but aren't being given the opportunities. Possible spray down, double shock dart towards default, but it misses. Smart decision to plant elsewhere with that KO, or with the Sova, sorry, still available, and obviously the Killjoy just the same. The problem is, there's no real opportunity to re-engage here for Northern Alberta. They'll try and jump down towards Generator, it works out, but Hasty goes 1 for 1. A trade from the hell position, as Kiro now worries more about that main spot. The Shrouded Step from Phantom throws off the line of sight for AO, who's taken care of. Similar to that of Kiro, triple OT is a requisite here on Ascent. We're not done yet.
Overtime.
You know what I find really interesting?
Lots of things, hopefully.
I mean, that's fair. You can point it. I did walk into that one. But Northern Alberta, they struggled on their attacking side, you know? They barely had any rounds. They had 3 of them. And now they've won 3 attacking rounds in a row and cannot collect a win on the defense to save their life. It's very interesting, isn't it, how that happened?
Illinois Wesleyan, again defensive side. Again the favored side, by the way, for all of you who were not here for regulation. It went 9-3 for both defensive sides. But NAIT have still been able to pick up the attacking initiation in every half, and then they have lost the defensive side, similar to that of Illinois Wesleyan, with the opposite case.
Yep.
SAR's already set up, but again an A hit for NAIT. The problem is, well, there's a big re-engagement from Illinois Wesleyan.
Conversations being had on who to give that orb over to. Fair enough. It's, you know, it could be a turning point in a round like this. That being said, I like that they've disengaged here. They've kind of left Brazy over there towards Wine to, you know, catch anybody who's getting curious, interested, anything along those lines. Meanwhile, it's a re-engagement towards Catwalk. 2 players there. Hero, though, over towards Tile, so a little bit disconnected from the rest of the squad as well.
30 seconds left.
Weird play from Phantom. Do you see where Phantom is? Just sitting on top of Tetris inside of Gardens, not engaging whatsoever, and is just waiting for a bait. But he's seen by Ayo, who takes that control and is able to give NAIT the A site. Another 4 versus 3. Just this time, it's Illinois Wesleyan on the disadvantageous side of it, facing again to go up against match and series point.
It's a tough situation to come back into, even despite some low HP there for AO. 0 point, gonna connect some space, and the Owl Drone finds Kiro close range. Kiro can't find the 1, but again, it's just trades. Now the Blades coming out. Of course, those not so successful. 1v2 G, where it's gonna be parked up towards the site. No dice. AO closing the round, and this seems familiar. TTL. I can't really imagine why I can't remember.
Deja vu, maybe? I don't know. Yeah. NAIT, again on match and series point. This is the 3rd time thus far. All of them, by the way, in overtime. This is our 3rd OT, ironically enough. Illinois Wesleyan, by the way. I feel a little bit bad for Park. Usually you can't hear an inner monologue for a player. when that round ended, you could just hear Park thinking to himself, wait, one's triple, one's triple, one's triple. Wait, I need to look somewhere else. Triple's baiting, triple's baiting, triple's baiting. And then he still dies from A main as soon as he looks at A main. That's just an unfortunate inner monologue because timing. Welcome to first-person shooters.
Yeah, I do feel that. It is unfortunate. Another opportunity for Northern Alberta to win a defensive round. Can it happen here in overtime?
They need it. At least they'd like it. They really don't. You could see another overtime or even Pearl, and NAIT would still be in the series, but they do not want to see a third map. They don't want to give Illinois Wesleyan the opportunity to come back. Illinois Wesleyan, similar to that of Northern Alberta, will decide on this A side. They have not cleared the corner of Heaven. That's something they may have to worry about later on, especially with both sides of Heaven now occupied by this defensive side, and taken from that same corner will find the opening kill. An immediate trade is there, so damage is negated, but another trade just the same. This time around the tree side, Hysteria, sitting in hell, will look to try and find the kill, but Phantom, not safe by any means. Kara, another hero play, and Funman is left alone. The problem is, they're sitting inside a tree. The spike defuse can come through, the bait with the door, the jump on top, but Funman only able to find one. Both Killjoys find a 3K, but Kiro, the hero, gives Northern Alberta their first ever NECC series victory.
For a debrief.
I don't know what happened. We started playing a game of Valorant and we ended in a game of Counter-Strike. 16-14 the final scoreline, and you know what? Hero, I don't know what the final amount of frags was, but popped the hell off. Did so well over the two maps. I think was at least 50. I'm almost certain. Like,
I'm doing the math.
Okay,
A lot. He's got a lot.
Many frags.
I think we actually
well
have
done,
the screenshots come up. At a bare minimum, he's got 35. Because I still distinctly recall 32 plus a 3K in the final round.
Yeah, and then it was 26, I think, in the first. So, yeah, lots of frags, very good play. That does, by the way, add up to 60, not even 50. So if it's anywhere close, we're plus 50. Okay, math is hard. We're casters. Okay, give us a break. We're trying.
We're not allowed to do math on stream. I think that was in the guidelines for the NECC as well.
It was.